And we are live, right? Back for another Rooted in Sports Monday, 5:30. Hope everybody had a nice, exciting day at work, right? Had a fun weekend, right? So, uh, normally, obviously, we have a lot of nice guests. My co-host Swan, he's currently mid move. He's moving from Chicago to Dallas. So, wish him and his lovely wife Amber the best of luck. But I want to keep mixing it up, keep bringing on some interesting people. This time, I got Mr. Emmett Douglas from Blindside Sports, and he is. I mean, man, I was connected literally through one of my other buddies, VJ Vernon, who's came on here before, and I'm like, man, I got to get this guy on the show and get some of his insight. Emmett, how you doing today?
Kenneth, thanks for having me on the show, man. Really appreciate it. I think, we're going to have a lot of fun topics.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
doing well. I'm, a couple weeks from graduating high school. So, you said, how was work? I mean,
What?
so school was pretty good today, man. Just kind of kicked it, senioritis. It's kind of bad, not going to lie. But hey, it's okay. But the more important thing out of this is we have a lot of good topics for you guys tonight. Like, the sports world, I feel like we always say this and it's like super cliche. I say this on my show, but like sports just doesn't slow down, man. Like
It doesn't.
we have all this, NBA, conference final stuff going on, the Final Four, if you will. We have the Nick Saban bombshell, which kind of dropped in our laps on Thursday, man.
Ooh.
I mean, that one we normally expected that one to come through with us, and then I'm kind of doing your intro for you, but we also we have NFL to get to, and I think, hey man, my bad, but
Oh
excited
no,
to
you're
be
great.
here on this Monday. I think it's gonna be a fun time, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm gonna tell you guys this. This guy was like, "Oh, I don't want to. I want to make sure." I said, "Hey, man, look, these guys here for me every single week, right? You're unfamiliar face to them, so have at it, have fun, and obviously we got some interesting topics to get into. Let's go into our trusty intro that we work so hard to make, and then let's jump into these topics.
Yep.
And just like that, we're back. I love the intro. I promise. Every time I hear it, it's just like the bass.
That's a hard song right there, man. That's hey, like that was bumping in my headphones right there, man.
Dude.
Like when I got the text to hey, we want you to fill in. Research you even more, and I think that intro. I mean, hey, good intro. Get your audience member hyped up.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
Well, guess what? I made it. I was in the studio and I made that intro. Right.
Wow.
No, I didn't. Look, no, I didn't. I totally didn't. It's a guy named Ben Bands, really good friend of mine's. He's located out in Houston. You guys check him if you can. I throw a different name out, said they made it, but it's Ben Bands. He made this one, and he created. If you ever catch my show, The Break Room Breakdown, he created that intro as well. But waiting on the intro, I decided on a nickname. I feel like since we're both football fans, I'm just gonna call you ED.
All right, cool. I gotta ask you, man. We could go the dirty way with that, but I'll leave that alone. Take that how you please. But I gotta ask you, man. What's your teams? Your teams of choice? Favorite.
Oh,
team.
okay. Well, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I try to dial back on it.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a free agent basketball fan now because for the longest I was a Lakers fan, but Jesus Christ, man, it's just this year was bad, and
you're gonna get VJ fired up, man. That guy hates the Lakers.
Oh, he does.
It's so fun. He does. Every time it's on my show, like I've had VJ on 2 times, and VJ, one of our friends, really good guy. He, we'd always lead, we'd have like our, plan like a couple days, week in advance. We'd have our topics, ready, and it would turn, we'd start like, I think last show we were gonna start with like some NFL free agency or something. So it's the start of the free agency, And then the Lakers crapped the bed the night before. And I knew from previous experience that VJ had a lot to say. And I was like, I'll let you run your victory lap on my show because VJ is this guy, if I don't know if your audience knows, but
They know.
Rob Parker, Tom Brady hater, biggest Tom Brady hater ever. I think VJ Vernon Husky is the biggest LeBron James hater in sports, without a doubt. He was on national radio with Fox Sports Radio with Brian Noe a couple weeks ago, and he said, I thought the man wasn't feeling too well. He was like, it was talking about Jason Tatum and how people are comparing to LeBron. He's like, even I think that's a stretch. I'm like, okay, this is how we know he's a professional. But anyways, moving on.
The cool thing is you guys should. We'll see what happens. Maybe VJ will drop in and you'll get his interest in takes. Me and him don't agree on anything. We're born. We're like polar opposites. We're born to be sworn enemies. So that'll be exciting. But ED, the non-dirty. I'm talking about Eric Dickerson.
Okay.
Now that we have you on, I want to jump into our first topic. First, I guess I'll show you guys the video. Let's hear these Nick Saban comments, right? Let's see.
Every player on their team made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it. So if the NCAA doesn't get some protection from litigation, whether we got to get an antitrust or whatever it is, from a federal government standpoint, this is not going to change because they cannot enforce their rules. Just like Nate said, we have a rule right now that says you cannot use name, image, and likeness to entice a player to come to your school. Hell, read about it in the paper. I mean, Jackson State paid a guy $1 million last year that was a really good Division I player to come to school. It was in the paper, and they bragged about it. Nobody did anything about it. I mean, these guys at Miami that are going to play basketball there for $400,000, it's in the newspaper. The guy tells you how he's doing it. So, but the NCAA can't enforce their rules because it's not against the law. And that's an issue. That's a problem. And unless we get something that protects them from litigation, I don't know what we're going to do about it.
Okay. So, we got, first of all, that was interesting. And then, VJ's here. So, all right.
Bring him in now. All right.
Bringing this guy in. First of all, look. First of all, before I introduce you, take that damn belt off. Take it off.
Make me.
Make me. Well, look, you guys. Obviously, you guys. See me and VJ's very, very playful, banter-filled relationship. He came on my show wearing a belt. Want to insult me, but once again, I'm always glad to have him on. VJ, did you see that we were watching that Nick Saban, first topic, Nick Saban NIL comments? Did you see the video?
No, then first of all, thanks for having me, man. And what up to my man Emmett, my man Blind Seahawk fan? That's my guy right there, man.
Hey,
we do each other's shows, and we got our Fox Sports, our Fox Sports Radio connection too. And another thing, hold on, bro.
That's how I met you, bro.
Don't tell me not to come on. If you want the belt, if you want me to take the belt off, bet against me and beat me, and you can win the belt, bro. You already owe me 2 door dashes. So I mean, we don't want to go there.
Well, the second one, the second one is questionable, but that's another story for another day.
You're about to owe me 3 because you took the under on 10 wins for the Chiefs, which was foolish.
Did I take that?
Hey, I wrote it down.
He doesn't remember his bets. What the hell is this?
hey, look. You know what, VJ and Emmett? Maybe I just like living life on the edge. How about that? I'm a dangerous man.
I like living life on the edge too, man. I lost $100 on Reggie Bullock last night to lead the game in 3-pointers at a plus, but it was a plus 7. It was a plus 700. It was a plus 700. He was coming off of 6 3-pointers in game 2. I figured he'd stay hot coming home. 0-4 last night, man. I thought I was about to win $800. I lost 100.
Dude, We're gonna get to that later in the show, but I got some
are.
stuff on the Mavericks. But
well, I want to hear about this Nick Saban. Let's talk about this, fellas. Emmett, let's start with you. So I want to know what your thoughts on. To me, it sounded a very crybaby-ish, very whiny. But you can tell me what you think.
Yes. I mean, first of all, a couple things I want to say. Heading into this one here is I am absolutely for the players getting paid in college football. You want to know why? You know how much time being a college football athlete takes up? A lot, right? And if you could use your name, you're already well known, man. Like, Bryce Young, Alabama quarterback. I don't know, first thing that came to my mind. He is well known. Mm-hmm. And to me, Nick Saban, what he said is just, it does sound pouty. I mean, I have here in my notes, one of my bullet points, sore loser. I mean, like, no one wanted to go play for Nick Saban. And it's just, it's interesting to me. Like, I really, think it is. And I feel like, Kenneth Clark, I'll call you KC, Kansas City. That's what
is Kenneth Tiberius Clark, but you know what? I go by everything. Go ahead. Do what you got to do.
Kansas City. Yeah. So yeah, I just feel like, our guy Nick Saban, he's a little salty. Yeah, I just feel like, it was down recruiting year for him, and maybe there's a reason kids want to go to Texas A&M, right? And I'm an Alabama hater because every freaking year they're in the Final Four, about to make it to the championship, and it's just, can we see some new teams? Like, hello.
well, this is my thing. For the first time, and God knows how long, kids aren't just signing up to go to Tuscaloosa because they want to win. Now that you introduce an NIL, now kids like, is winning at the collegiate level really that important? I kind of want to get my money elsewhere and start. But that's my thoughts. VJ, what you got for me?
All right, man. So me, I don't snorkel with sports topics like this. I scuba dive. I put the tank on. I dive in. We're not gonna go cry, baby. That's low hanging fruit. No offense to my good colleague Emmett there, but this had too much of a colonizer tone to it to me. This had too much of a slave master tone to it.
He used the C word.
Yeah. Once I can't have you for free. Once I can't control you. Once you actually have a choice to go somewhere else and go play among your people, Mr. Hunter, that's down at Jackson State right now. Number 1 overall player by some accounts, number 2 by other accounts, whatever. 247 had a number 1, ESPN had a number 2, whatever. But went to a HBCU. Dion also just landed a top 20 receiver out of this class, who probably wouldn't have went into Jackson State.
Right.
To mention Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M, Dion, and you heard Dion's response. Dion said, y'all must forget what I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Coaching the
Dion, game. I'll say this about Dion too. Didn't Dion's son like go tell him, like, it was like super related, like it might have been like a joke meme headline or something, but like I swear I saw something where Dion's son like woke him up when this story broke or something.
No, he woke him up and Dion said he wasn't going to deal with it. He'll address it in the morning, and that's the faith in it, because he's a real hardcore Christian in the faith of God. So that's the faith in him. Some words I got, crybaby's easy, but I got rude, jerk, asshole, narcissist.
Oh, I knew you were gonna throw that. I knew you were gonna throw that word out there.
And cheater, because listen, guys. Colin Cowherd, even himself, about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe about 7 years, about 5 or 6 years ago, live on his radio show, said that he had a source that he trusted that told him there was an SEC school that was being run like a pro franchise, but he just wouldn't tell him the school. I mean, go figure out probably who it might have been. And I'm not saying it's them, but once again, as you just stated, Tiberius, you're telling me all these kids, all these top guys want to go to racist Alabama.
Come on now.
To racist Tuscaloosa in the middle of nowhere, just because you're going to play for a national, just because number one, I'm not buying that one. When I look at some of these adjectives I use, rude, asshole, narcissist, everything's about him. Let's not forget the Maria Taylor incident. Let's not forget how he spoke to her at halftime about Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. He never spoke to Rachel Nichols that way. He never spoke to Aaron Andrews
that way. He never would have.
He never spoke to Aaron Andrews that way. But he I was always told if it looked like a duck and it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a damn duck. So
it's not a seagull or
yeah, I don't want to put any other, bad names on him. And just really, let's just look at his stats, guys. He's 178-25 at Alabama, which is great. 269, 67-1 overall. He's making $9.3 million a year. If I really do hope Jimbo Fisher, I hope the FBI and the NCAA take real heed to his comeback where he said, You want to know about that guy? Why don't you go down there to Alabama and poke around? Why don't you go talk to some former coaches? Why don't you go talk to some former players? Because guys, he's been there 15 years, and if you really want to put his career in on a pedestal, that's fine. But let's not forget he was 15-17 with the Dolphins. All right, as an NFL coach or assistant or coordinator or anything, he was 65-63. His disciples that have come from him are 133 and 131. So they're 500 guys. He coached with the Oilers, coached with the Browns, and then also coached the Dolphins. Michigan State, 6-5, 6-6, 7-5, 6-6, 9-2. Lost all 3 bowl games. LSU, 8-4, 10-3, 8-5, 13-1. Jamarcus Russell year, 9-3. 15-6 bowl games in Alabama. So if you really want to look at his career, he has been an average coach until he got to Alabama. And
Alabama elevated him.
Allegations are true. Dude, do you guys realize that this can change basically a decade plus of college football?
Yeah.
Because he's been there 15 years. I thought it was in bad taste. I've always spoke out against Nick Saban. I always said I would never let my son go play for Nick Saban. I would never let my son sign with him. He could never step in my house. And this is before this incident. But let's not forget how he acted like an asshole when his players, threw the Gatorade on him when they beat Texas in the national championship game in the Rose Bowl. He was upset and visibly yelling at them like, dude.
That's a fun moment. That's a happy moment for them.
For real. Exactly. You just won the championship. Stop being,
Yeah. And sometimes you could go, I understand yelling at the kid, but I've always felt like he made it a point to make sure that it's seen and that
he embarrasses kid on
that he can embarrass you. Yes, that he can embarrass you. That, guys, that reeks of a bad human being. That doesn't reek of a tough coach. Parcells was a tough coach. Belichick was a tough coach. Dean Smith, Coach K, Roy Williams.
Tough coaches.
Those are tough coaches. That reeks of a bad person.
So, and I'm gonna tell you guys this, and this kind of ties in. I listened to a guy who I'm not the utmost biggest fan of his game, but you ever watch an interview of Kayvon Thibodeau, who went to Oregon, obviously just went top 5 in the draft. But he had an opportunity to go to Alabama. He was the number 1 recruit coming out in his class.
I was calling his high school football games.
Right?
Yep.
Physical freak. And he says, Nick Saban, he goes there and meets with Nick Saban, and Nick Saban says, okay, well, you'll play when I think you're ready to play. He's like, what the hell? I'm not gonna go to Alabama to maybe not play and not get control over my career. And then he says, I'm going to Oregon where I know I'm gonna play immediately, right? NIL hits 1 to 2 years later after he gets there. And he said something smart. He said, well, if I'm at Oregon, I have a guaranteed job at Nike, So I think what's happening is you're seeing the NIL and we, not just Nick Saban, we've heard Dabo Swinney cry and whine about it as well. The NIL is giving the power back to the players. And for the first time, these guys can make decisions. They can go to school. They can go. I'm going to tell you this, as a USC guy, I'm loving these West Coast guys staying home. Let's be honest. You think if Lincoln Riley is there, you think Bryce Young goes to damn Alabama over USC? Get the hell out of here, man.
He committed to USC.
He was.
That. He committed to SC and then took a surprise visit to Bama and committed overnight while he was down there. But I'm pretty sure, listen, a lot of you and I are from the same area. A lot of these kids nowadays, don't come from the worst circumstances because society has gotten better. Like, speak for black folk, things have gotten as far as workforce is concerned, as far as families making money. This isn't the 70s and the 80s and even in the 90s. Okay, the statistics show it. Even single mothers, even single black mothers are moving up in the corporate world and getting corporate jobs and getting degrees where they can hold it down in their own, where their kids aren't so desperate to take a bag under the table. You talked about NIL. 4 sides that is impacted: coaches, players, companies, boosters, and as Dion said, the givers. Those are the people. The companies are like, yeah, we don't have to wait to get this kid. We could get this kid now. Emmett, you mentioned Bryce Young. Do you guys know before Bryce Young took a snap as a starter, he already had $1.25 million in his bank account from NIL? So that makes Nick Saban full of you know what even more. You had a kid who hadn't even played yet, and he already had $1 million in his bank account from NIL before you named him the starter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I like it levels the playing field, and that's where the colonizer thing comes in. And it's because I hate to do this, but I just have to stay true to who I am. If you remember slavery, right? Okay, so slavery ends. Boom. Now that we can't have you and do all these things to you, now we'll just run you down and lynch you, and we'll just do all these different things and systematically. It's the same thing. Now that I can't have you for free, I'm gonna now rat out everybody. For him to sit there and go, Texas A&M bought every player, dude. You're insinuating that they're cheating. Come on.
Yeah. You know, I feel like, you know, Vijay, you did bring up a very interesting point about, you know, how Alabama may not be the way for players. And I mean, I said down here, it could be down ever, man. Like, you know, USC, like down in, you know, Southern California, even UCLA, that's like obviously University of LA, like in LA, people like LA, you know, these bigger markets, you know, especially with this name, image, and likeness, players might not be caring about winning, right? Like, for example, like Kayvon Thibodeau went 5th overall, and Oregon wasn't really like in that mix.
Sorry, y'all. My buddy Kyle Humphreys. I thought
I'm reading it. I'm seeing it.
He's absolutely terrible. I love you. I love you, Kyle.
Tell him my man Emmett, my man Kyle. We love you, bro. But Emmett slid in here.
Emmett's killing it, man.
Be fast, man. You gotta be fast, man. Emmett's going to Washington State. I don't want to embarrass you, bro. This kid just got into Washington State. He's going there to be in their journalism program.
I just saw what Kyle said.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Emmett. This is a sharp kid, man. You guys watch out for him.
Thanks, man.
Washington
Thanks,
State, man.
Yep. You know, never expected to be a Cougar, but hey, you know, life throws curveballs. And Kyle, you know, maybe I'll get you on my show one of these days, and we could spar. You know, if you're gonna throw the smoke, Twitter at EmmettNoC04. You know, hit me up. I'm not gonna drop my number on stream. I want to.
I love this kid.
Hey, look, I'm telling this Kyle, man. And look, maybe it's because I grew up in a black community. You know, I'm around a lot of look green faces, if I could say it like that. Yeah. But man, Kyle must be the best athlete I ever met. One of the best athletes I met, and I'm like, man, this white guy can do everything. He can play basketball, he can play football, corner, safety, crazy. But but good friend of mine. So yeah, he'd be good on your show. So
Kyle, what's up, man? Thanks for the support. Thanks for showing out, stopping by. You know, we'll say that.
Also, if I could, with Nick Saban, guys, he's been around. Okay, like he's since the 70s, man. I look at a lot of this stuff up. I know what's coming to the show. But Kent State, Ohio State, Syracuse, West Virginia, Navy, Toledo. A lot of people don't know he coached those programs. Like he's been. But just tell me, when was ever his impact other than his 13-1 year in LSU until he got to Bama? There's gotta be something, man. I really do hope. I could be hating here. I really do hope that they get thoroughly investigated. That they send the FBI, do them like you did Marion Jones. Do him like you did Barry Bonds. Do him like you did Roger Clemens. Why is he getting? And we know we don't.
Do him like you did Pete Carroll.
Like you did Pete Carroll. You know, I mean, when you're that smug, and that's what I think rubs people wrong. I don't like Dabo. Like I used to like Dabo, like you mentioned, until he spoke out about it. The ones I tweeted yesterday, the ones that speaking out the loudest are the ones that were paying the most under the table. and now they're pissed that the playing field is now even. Like Clemson, you ever been down there, bro? You ever been to that school and seen what's around there? There's nothing there. But like
It's middle of nowhere.
USC, yeah, they can pay if they want to, but they really don't have to. If I'm a recruit, Tiberius, you come here, bro. All I'm doing is, you know the deal. All I'm doing is taking you down Sunset, Hollywood Boulevard, Santa Monica, Huntington Beach, Manhattan Beach, Malibu, the Valley, Ventura Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard.
The environment sells itself.
The environment, and I don't even have to take you to the school. I can take you to everything around it. And then go, oh, you know what? We do got to go by the. Oh, okay, let's swing by the campus. We do.
Hey,
we got to say we was at the campus.
This is facts, right?
Yeah.
But I'll say this. California, especially Los Angeles, 3 things. One of which you can't really use in college football, and women weed and weather. But so yeah, nobody is just actively signing on to go to Tuscaloosa. It's not an attractive environment. So there has to be some kind of formula, something he's been doing to get these guys. It hasn't been for the sake of winning. Trust me, look, as a guy that loves football, I know it's not that many damn guys that love the game that much to go to Tuscaloosa.
Also, too, another
like Green Bay.
point, Kenneth. You
Facts.
ever hear great Alabama players go to the league and speak about how much they loved Nick Saban? And how much right?
Interesting.
When Coach K, I'm a Tar Heel. You see the jersey hanging up right here. But the one thing I'll give him, I think Coach K is a sham.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I'll give him, he touches those guys. Because when they played Carolina their last game, bruh, the bums came back. The scrubs came back. And I watched the whole rivalry my whole life. I'm like, wow, look at John Shaw. Oh my God. Cherokee Parks? Where the hell has he been? The bums came back. If Saban announced he was retiring, how many of those guys would line the field and come back for Nixon? It's you could just tell when players are there and they really do love. Have you ever seen him cozy with a player? You ever seen him cozy with even when he was accepting a national championship trophy? He looks like he's got a stick up his ass, man. Even when
he's no fun. He's no fun.
He's that boring old guy who tells you to get off. Hey, get off my lawn when you're not even on his lawn. He's one of those dudes.
He's worse than that. He's
pretty bad.
He calls the police on you.
Yeah. He calls the police on you, and then he tries to get you trespass from his house. He will press charges.
and then he's a bit. Let's look at some of these comments. He says programs near big cities are going to start benefiting from NIL. That's why Saban is pressed. Yeah, most definitely. And that's why Lincoln Riley wisely chose USC, and they gave him the jet. So that was a
they gave him a jet. They gave him a $4.2 million house. His wife's going to shop on Rodeo. His kids are going to go to either Crossroads or go to Sierra Canyon or go to Oaks Christian.
Yeah. He said Coach K is actually laid back.
And that's fine, but his players loved him though, and I'll give him that.
Yeah.
His players love that man. Find me the interview where an NFL player raves about Nick Saban and gets emotional about Nick Saban.
Shout out our guy Andre too for kind of saying what we're saying. Appreciate the support, Andre. You've been super active and. The reason Saban is pressing, we said it multiple times, is, these big cities, these big, cool markets. Like we said multiple times in the segment, who the hell wants to go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
Not a damn
What is
soul.
there? Yeah. I mean, there's jokes we can make there and, we'll leave those alone as well. And try to say somewhat professional. But hey, man, there's literally nothing to do in Tuscaloosa. Like, these big cities are going to start seeing skyrocketing, in their numbers of players coming to play football for them for the name, image, and likeness. College football is turning into a job. I feel like, these players can make hella money off just playing football for college, and then they could elevate to the pros. Like it's, it's an interesting game.
And the funniest thing is looking at the kids that are in the draft that just got drafted. And I'm like, and in my head, I had to really take time. BJ bowed out real quick. I had to really take time and think about it, Emmett, and I had to say, these guys already have money in their pockets. You know, I remember hearing the, our meeting, because I had my uncle was he brought his son on. My uncle was dating the mother of an NFL player, and I remember the process of him getting drafted, and the guy didn't really have money like that, so he had to borrow money stuff to buy a suit, this, that, and the third. But now these guys they already have shiny NIL deals, and I'll be honest, man, it's just such a big transition for the collegiate athlete. Because look, as a matter of fact, it's perfect that VJ is here, because I know he's just, when I think of NIL, I just think about the Fab Five and how those guys were eating freaking cup of noodles and top ramen and stuff like that. They didn't have money to eat, but their name and their likeness was on T-shirts and stuff. Nike was making a bag off of those guys, right?
Black ball and socks, black sneakers, baggy shorts.
Ridiculous. Fab Five. They wrote them, and those guys, they said we didn't even have money. We barely had money to eat.
Yep.
So NIL is good for the modern college athlete. Obviously, some coaches are pressed or they're mad. But what do they say? VJ, in the black community, Emmett, I don't know if you heard this one. A hit dog is gonna holler.
Hit dog gonna holler, baby. I hit dog. Hit dog gonna holler. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. I mean, it's. I listen. First of all, I love it. I love NIL. I love the ability for these kids to be able to make some money, because you know what it does do? It does level the playing field. Do you think these kids want to live looking over their shoulder, man? Could you imagine what Reggie Bush's 3 years was like at USC? Now that we know about the job for the mom and the house, like somebody went all the way down the Oceanside and staked the house out and followed his parents and found out they were living. Do you think kids want to deal with that? No, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to look over their damn shoulder. They don't want to have to do $100 handshakes from boosters after games. This is actually great, and Saban is showing. And Kenneth, you and I talked about this as far as the NFL goes. The old guy in coaching is phasing out, guys. The old guy's phasing out. You're 60, you're 70-year-old guys. Bye.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you this. Andy Reid is hanging on for his life.
Sean McVay, all these guys are young, like all
McVay,
Daniel, who just got hired by the Dolphins.
McDaniel in Miami. They are look Kellen Moore. Look, they somebody wants to give Kellen Moore a job.
Yeah,
somebody wants to give that guy a job.
He almost got it.
Yeah. And I think those guys, even the young college coaches, I think those guys, they get it. They're like, look, man, get your bread, get your money. I'd much rather you be happy and not have to sneak around and not have to. I mean, even Hunter said, he tweeted, "Oh, I got a meal, but my mama's still living in a 3-bedroom with 5 kids. Oh, but I got a meal."
Yeah.
But somebody gave me a meal. Come on now. But I tell you this, Kenneth, you and I talked about this too. What I would love to see with the HBCUs is our black celebrities that can buy 4 and 5 Bugattis. And I'm not trying to tell nobody how to spend their bread. I ain't being nobody's pocket. But would be nice that if you took maybe one of those Bugattis away, I'm pretty sure you don't need 4 of them. If you took one of those away and then just closed your eyes and threw a dart on a wall that had all the HBCUs on them, and wherever it lands, put that $1.2 million into their football program, into their basketball program, or call the coach and say, call Mississippi Valley State. Lindsey Hunter's the head coach there. Call Lindsey Hunter and say, hey, what do you need, a guard or you need a big man? What do you need? Okay, find the kids you need. I'll pay the NIL. And I'm just saying.
And you know what? That's gonna make me. We're gonna have to do another segment on HBCUs, because I'm gonna tell you this. Bomani Jones had a really good take on HBCU sports that we'll obviously could talk about at another time. But he talked about, even though sports is good, we need to focus on improving the facilities, the educational facilities primarily. Then we can focus on sports. So I think that's going to be a good topic to talk about another time. But I tell you guys this: we got to transition in a little bit. We're going to transition to basketball. But first, we got some remaining NFL free agents. I know I staked out a few. Guys that I feel like are very valuable. And the second wave of free agency is always the funnest, because some guys just sit and wait. They're saying, okay, I'm going to see what's going to happen in the draft. I'm not going to be, especially if you're a guy that maybe is not the, past your prime, or you may not have that much roster security. Let me wait until after the draft, so I'm not a dummy, sign and get cut. And so I think this is going to be fun. So what are some names and who are some team fits for some of the guys that you guys have seen left in NFL free agency?
Good question, man. And first of all, I think Odell Beckham, he's still out there. He's staying with the Rams, and I just don't like. He's had so many horrible injuries. Like, I feel bad for the guy. Like, he's had to go through it his whole career. But I think he would stay with the Rams. Another one out there is a Rob Gronkowski. I could see him staying with Tampa Bay. But Joe Burrow, Rob Gronkowski would be a very interesting combination.
Ooh.
J.C. Treader, the center, is still out there. I could see, a team lacking an offensive line. Go for him. Dolphins, yeah. VJ got a little excited there.
Yep.
Trey Flowers, he hasn't been healthy in 2 years. So I think you could get him on the cheap end if you're a team needing, like a defensive guy, my Seahawks, we're not going to be in contention, but Trey Flowers, the defensive end, if we can get him on the cheap, I'd be okay with it, man.
Yeah.
What about you, VJ in KC, Kansas City?
With Odell, I don't feel sorry for Odell. Odell's kind of made his own bed, I called it a year before the Giants traded him on my show, VJs on Sports Lacana, that they were going to trade him, that he wouldn't be there his whole career. He's never going to be remembered as a legendary Giant player. And I got called all type of hater. It is. I'm like, bro, I've seen, like, he's T.O. He's Joe Horn. Sooner or later, they just wear on you, man. And I like pro athletes that have self-awareness. And some just don't have self-awareness. Even if they're popular or famous, doesn't mean you have self-awareness. Dwayne Brown, offensive tackle, he was ranked by Pro Football Focus number 14, but 37 years old, so maybe you get a year or two out of him. I think Gronk wants to retire. I don't think he wants to play anymore, but I think he feels like he would be letting Tom down if he doesn't come back. Mm-hmm. And I really mean he's not going anywhere else. He is not going to suit up. He's
going to stay in Tampa Bay. He's either Tampa Bay or retire.
Yeah. Tampa retired.
He's going out when Brady goes out if he does stay with Tampa Bay. I think that's pretty obvious. And that's the whole reason I feel like he kind of came back in the first place after.
It's the only reason why he came back. It's the only reason.
Yeah, when he took that break here, Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers. He's like, I miss this. I want to join my boy Tom Brady. And, wouldn't you know it, next year, Brady and Gronk win a Super Bowl in a whole different conference.
Yep.
So, I think it would be an interesting thing for the Bengals, but I don't see him doing it.
It's not happening, bro. Plus, they have
there's a difference between interesting and not happening.
They have two young tight ends there. It's not happening. Number 49 on Pro Football Focus list was Will Fuller, and he kind of has this bad taste because of the injuries in Houston and then the hand injury that people questioned last year in Miami, and then it comes out that he couldn't even open and close the hand. He really was hurt. But he kind of got away with $3 million, $4 million from the Dolphins last year. Only 28 years old. Eric Fisher, somebody looking for a tackle, number 50 on Pro Football Focus. Number 54 on that list was also Julio at 33. I think he could be a great locker room guy.
He could go to like a contender too. Like
hold on. Here's the thing about always trying to put veterans with contending teams. Here's the problem with that, guys. Is their chemistry, it doesn't always work. If they're a contender, then they don't need them. If they're a contender, they don't need them. He's at the point in his career where he needs to probably be a mentor. Okay, so right now, the contenders, the Rams, the repeat, right? The Rams, the Bills. Everybody's high on the Bills this year. If you look at Vegas,
they're the number one team on most boards,
right? Okay, Chargers. So those two, the Packers, right? Okay. If you go and you look at those teams, they don't need a veteran guy to come in. They if anything, they need probably a middle-aged player to come in and be effective.
I don't think the Packers are contenders. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Well, anytime you got discount double check, that's 11 wins. It's 11, 12.
The NFC isn't that strong.
Bears twice, they're bad. Lions twice, they're bad. Vikings twice, they're okay.
But he's bad in the playoffs.
That's fine.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is Garbo in the playoffs. I think we can all agree on that.
But guys, they will still be considered a contender. They're still considered by Pro Football Focus. They're still considered a contending team, a top NFC team. If I ask both of you to name me the top 3 teams in the NFC, you can't do it without saying Packers. So they're a contender.
Look, VJ, I can.
Well, you'll be wrong because you'll say you're 0-2 and you'll be wrong.
No,
I think San Francisco.
I think San Francisco. No, I wasn't even gonna say Dallas. I was gonna say San Francisco.
No. Let me tell you what happened with San Francisco last year. San Francisco kind of just got hot, and yeah, they made me some money, and I picked them. And even Emmett remembers the Packer game I picked because he was the first one to hit me up on Twitter and was like, "Bro, nice damn pick, VJ." Because I put it out there, I was like, "Bro, they're gonna go on Lambeau, they're gonna win that football game." But the Debo contract stuff, they still don't know who their quarterback is. They still don't know who their running back's going to be. They did lose their offensive coordinator, which does hurt sometimes. And I'm not saying that they can't, pick up pieces, but
they lost their offensive coordinator in title.
Yeah. Offensive coordinator in title, but everybody there raved about him. Every player there on offense raved about him. And Debo Samuel himself even said, yeah, he might not have called the plays, but it was still his offense. So you can title all that all you want to. What the player said is that they love the guy.
He was a good assistant.
Yeah, exactly. Is that they love the guy. And that can also be Shanahan just not wanting to relinquish, because we see that with Kansas City. We see that with the Chiefs, where people go, well, yeah, Eric Bieniemy is the, court, but we know Andy Reid. And Andy Reid's come out and go, no, I've let Eric Bieniemy call plays too. He's the offensive coordinator. Yes, okay. So we see. I'm sorry, my daughter. What you got, baby?
Hey, how you doing?
What's your take? Who you think? You think is Daddy right? Okay, that's what I thought.
She's crying. Either we're really bad or you're really bad.
Stop arguing with my daddy. My daddy right.
She said no. Tiberius is right.
Man, please.
Yeah.
You see how she looked up at you? She is sucking the hell out of my Highland. But anyway, I just think with veterans and a few other guys. Ndamukong Suh also is not re-signed. And I can see Suh waiting. Most of these older guys, fellas, they're waiting until after the June 1st veteran cuts. After June 1st or June 3rd, whatever, they're waiting for the veteran cuts. But I can see Ndamukong Suh retiring. Why would you want to come back? You got the ring. He's made a ton of money. What, come back and get beat up another? You hear these players say it all the time. It's not whether they can play. It's whether they want to get up at 4 a.m. anymore. Do they want to go train anymore? Do they want to get prepared? So they can put on the equipment and go play on Sunday. But do you want to wake up Monday morning and do it all over again for 18 straight weeks? I can see Ndamukong Suh saying, you know what? I got the ring.
Yeah, but I think he's at a place where you have guys that, first of all, Ndamukong Suh, there was a time where he was one of the elite players in this league.
Best defensive player in football. There was a year or two he was the best defensive player in football.
Maybe a year.
He was just in Detroit.
In Detroit. Maybe a year and a half. But I mean,
a year or two.
Yeah. A little bit.
Best player. That's why when he was a free agent. Every team in the league that had money brought him in for a free. That man went on like seven free agent trips.
No, he went on like seven dinners. He made his money, but he's right now at this point in his career, he's what I call a hired hitter. He's a hired gun. Yeah. And I think when talking about contenders, there are teams that could use an Ndamukong Suh to come in there. He doesn't need to be special. He just needs to do his damn job. So I think there's a market for him, and it all depends. Oh, yeah. I think he still really wants to play football.
Really?
And still, I do. I believe Ndamukong Suh still really wants to play football. Obviously, his best days are behind him, but some guys just love the game. He doesn't seem like he's beat up too much. And it's not like he's been like just this high impact player the last few years. He's been a guy that just comes in and fills a role. So I think there's still a pretty decent market for him. But
I agree with you too. He's not beat up. He was healthy. He started every game last year. No. Yeah. But see that to me, Kenneth, that would be even more reason to just say, you know what? I still got my health. I still got my health, man. I got a ring now. I won a championship. I
feel like it's a love of the game for some players, if he's starting to get burnt out, then he's going to be gone. But, if he has that love for the NFL, he has that love for going out there every Sunday, then, he's going to be back. And what I wanted to say on the contender thing that VJ disagreed with me with, it's not that the contenders need Julio Jones or, whoever we're talking about. It's that Julio Jones could want to go to, a team like Buffalo, a team like, the LA Chargers to try and run it back and win a ring, right?
I don't think Yeah.
If a team's going to offer a contract, like for example, the Bills, and they want Julio Jones, and the Bills are contender, then why say why say no? Like you're in that age, Julio struggles with health issues. I mean, why not go try and win something on the Bills?
He just tried that though. People thought the
He
Titans
was
were a
freaking
contender.
Tannehill.
People thought the Titans were a contender. He
was a
tried
shell of
it.
himself.
It didn't work. There's not an NFL. That's why he's still a free agent, Emmett. That's why he's still available. Because other teams said, well, yeah, they already tried that veteran thing with Julio last year, right? And it didn't work. With A.J. Brown on the other side. And it didn't work.
Honestly, Julio Jones, his best bet would probably be to pick a team that is semi good but wide receiver scarce. Just to get some. I think Baltimore is the perfect place for him to go if he can get onto that type of roster. And the passing attack isn't attractive, but he can go there and get some meaningful snaps at wide receiver and possibly still contend. But once again,
Indianapolis too.
But they've opened up and said that they're not interested in him. So interested. Okay. And look, and I'm gonna tell you this, VJ. Me and you are here on that. I wanted to see that so much. That was the sexy pick for me.
Go back with Matt. Go back with Maddie. I got it.
I don't think Julio's. I don't like. And I've never been the biggest Julio fan, but I look at where he's at in his career. I think he's where Larry Fitzgerald was those last years in Arizona, where he was no longer a high impact wide receiver. And you remember, he became a full-time slot, and he extended his career another 3 or 4 years, made another 2 or 3 Pro Bowls, and I think that's where Julio has to be at this.
I love Julio, but he's not even close to Larry Fitzgerald.
No, yeah.
Okay, look.
Larry Fitzgerald was really healthy, like surprisingly healthy.
Larry Fitzgerald was definitely more healthy, but I mean a guy that's past his prime that maybe can do some things to extend his career a little bit. I don't think he'll ever make. Yeah,
but at this point, I'm comparing them at certain points. Like right now, Julio
Fitzgerald was better.
Julio's 33. At 33, Larry Fitzgerald was way better at 33.
No, he was
for sure.
Julio is at 33.
Hey, I agree. I tell people this I'm very critical of Julio Jones. I tell people that Julio Jones, for his skill set, is vastly underwhelming. He has a Calvin Johnson skill set, but he doesn't play anything up to that, in my opinion.
I know. I agree with you. Big numbers, big seasons, but I 100% agree with you. It was he. If I had to kind of compare him to somebody, it was almost kind of what I wanted out of. And this is definitely outdating Emmett over here. Remember Alvin Harper?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alvin Harper could have been Michael Irvin. It just never happened.
Never materialized.
Eyes, hands, route running, big body. Guy was 6'3.5", 6'4". I mean, it was right there for him. And it wasn't nothing off the field. It just, for some guys, it just does. Devontae Parker for the Dolphins. It's all right there for you. They gave you the money. They gave you the starting position. He didn't have to work for it because Miami was so depleted when he got drafted number 8 overall. It's like, here you go, buddy. You're the one. You didn't have to work for it. Here you go. And it just never, N'Keal Harry. It just never materialized.
Hey, don't get me started on that joker.
I know you and I talked about him on your show before.
That joker pissed me off because he was doing all that. He was doing all that cute stuff at Arizona State to get to the league, and man, just terrible. But from what I heard, he had big work ethic issues. So that's part of it though. That's part of the equation. Is a kid's work ethic. You don't have to be, in my opinion, I like my quarterback to be first in, first out. But I get that. My receiver don't gotta be number 2. It'd be nice if he's the second one in and second one out. I'm sure there's been guys that we don't really know all these kids' work ethics, man, and who's there. We look what Jamar Chase did last year, but Jamar Chase has a look to me of a guy that he'll have another big year. And watch what I tell you. Next offseason, he'll talk about holding out. He wants a new deal. That's always a red flag to me to a young player. That's always a red flag. Well, that's the current market.
Then you're not working out. If you're holding out, then you're not working out. And I don't want to hear that you're working out I don't want to hear that you're working out
Zeke
with.
Did.
Yeah. Well,
that's your best take of the show, VJ.
I tried to tell you. Hey, listen, Chris Broussard and I are on Fox Sports Radio. I had to find the clip and send it to him because he swears up and down he doesn't remember me saying it. But the minute he went to Cabo, I'd have traded him. You got 2 first rounds. You got 2 first rounds. You got two first rounds. Think about
Marshall,
this way. You got 2 first rounds, and you'd be in the same position you're in now.
Hey, Marshall Faulk flew down there and helped him work out.
Marshall Faulk plays for who?
He's in street clothes.
Marshall Faulk plays for who?
He plays for the Citizens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like, if my guy's holding out, I like you to work out with people who are currently playing, not former players.
Yeah, I see, VJ. Like I said, this is the best take that you've had all show. We've been going at it for like 45 minutes now. Like holding out is it's a bad look for, and you're a team. Football is a team sport.
Yep.
For example, like Ezekiel Elliott, that's a big part of the Cowboys. Say what you want to say about him, but the Cowboys need him to win. Well, I mean, that's what I say what you want to say, but yeah, holding out is just a horrible look, and I do think we got to quit this. What you said about Jamar Chase, because it's gonna happen. I mean, that's just how players want their money, and they will do anything to get their money now, no matter their play level. Like Kyler Murray is another interesting case of.
Don't get me started. Let's not start that.
Okay.
Even though they might be my dark horse guys, and it's only because of betting. If I could really quick. Hey, guys, look, here's a bet for both of you guys. If you want to just go out on a limb, you don't have to do it yet. You should have all the way until August. I looked up a 3-team parlay for division winners the other night. Dolphins. Now, I know that's a long shot, but we're only a shoulder or any type of injury of Josh Allen from that division being open. Okay. The Cardinals, Seattle's down, Rams, Super Bowl hangover. I don't believe in the Niners, and the Raiders. The Raiders, serious contenders.
Oh, thank you.
All three of those teams, guys, if all 3 of those teams win their division on a 3-team division winner parlay, and you bet a measly $100, do you know how much you win?
100,000.
21,000. $21,000 on. Now there's different 3-team, but I was just plugging in parlays, and I was like, I'm like, okay.
I would happily make that bet. Because I'm gonna tell you this, I believe in the Raiders more than a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I think
I believe in the Cardinals if they give Kyler his money.
I don't believe in them.
I know you don't.
I believe in them either.
But I do.
Yeah.
I do. Last 2 years, here's my thing with them real quick. Last 2 years, they jumped out and were the best team the first 6 weeks of the year. They were the best team in the league the first 6 weeks of the year, the last 2 years, and they have faltered down the stretch. I get it. But they've also had some really bad injuries. DeAndre Hopkins misses pretty much all of last year. That's his number one receiver. You bring him back. Rondell Moore from Purdue is a year.
He's a young stud.
Is a year older in the NFL. And I don't care what nobody says. Anytime you bring in a Hollywood Brown, that type of speed, and a guy that wants to be there, like I want to be here. I want to be with that guy. That matters in football. When a receiver is watch what Devontae Adams and Carr do. And I'm not a Carr
it's going to be phenomenal.
But it's his boy. They said their kids play together. That matters, guys. That matters.
I think so. I think I just have, and before we hop back to the NFL free agents, I think I just have I have a lot of reservations about who Kyler Murray is. And, I've even spoken to some people that even are familiar with his family.
We already know.
No, it's not that. It has nothing to do with that because I think look, this is our thing. We talk about black, but
I'm just playing.
He's immensely talented. He's a really talented young kid, but I think he is the kid that grew up in the well-off family that always got his way. And I think now he's in Arizona and he's in the spotlight. And granted, you've won a lot of games for them. So clearly he's shown his worth as a quarterback, but I think it's just this trend is as the year goes on, or he gets put in certain situations where it's time for him to step up and put his big boy pants on.
He just can't.
He just can't. He falls short. And I have to remind people, they made the playoffs last year, but the year, watch this. But the year prior, people forget about this. That division was up for grabs, and they lost about 3 to 4 games. And Kyler Murray played terrible in all of them.
It's all in the second half. Also, he has a second half slump. That's why I can't trust it. I can't pay him.
Guys, they've started out great. Yes, they've had second-year slumps, but and I'm not saying I'm gonna make the bet, but it's an interesting bet, and I'll wait till things move along. Sooner or later, some teams do get it, or some guys do. I hope he does because I like the kid. I'm a fan. I hope he does get it because I believe if he does, that is a dangerous football team.
No, I agree.
Dangerous football team.
I'll say I can agree with that.
Kyler Murray gets it. That's a dangerous football team.
Well, I'll say this. DeAndre Hopkins suspended. He gonna get every chance he can. He gonna get the spotlight is gonna be. This is when you put your big boy pants on.
Having Hollywood Brown in there too with DeAndre's suspension, I think it does help. And obviously VJ said that Rondale Moore, he has one more year of experience. So I think yes, putting D-Hop, having him out for 6 games is it sucks.
Yeah,
but this is kind of Kyler's test. Hollywood Brown and Rondale Moore are not slumps. They are good players. So I think this all comes down to Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray, he is great in the first half of season, but there's times where he slows down in the second half of seasons. And like VJ said, I hope the guy gets it. I really, I'm a Seahawks guy, but I have nothing against him. Arizona, they're not. It's the Niners. I have an issue with. I do not like the Niners. I will say that on the show, and even because they're our biggest rivals, and starting to be the Rams too. But Kyler just needs to show some more to me, and especially with his style of QB, where he's had these little lingering kind of ankle problems the past couple of years, where I just feel like Arizona wants more before they can give him that money. But VJ Husky, you were on my show when this story broke, literally right when it broke, a couple of days after, back in March. And, you said something that, is kind of true. You said that, say what you want to say about these quarterbacks asking, or these players in general asking for money, but it's going to happen because that's just how the NFL goes, right? And I feel like, look, does he deserve it? That's up for debate. But do I blame the guy for asking? No. I don't, because everyone else is getting their money.
It was the manner in which he asked that I didn't like.
Following the social media.
It came across as like a spoiled child. He said, not only did I play, because we can all agree that was one of the worst quarterback performances in the history of
that was
NFL
embarrassing.
Play. Literally, when I looked at the end of the second half, I think he had 20 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. It was that bad. It's pretty bad. So
couple pick six too.
Exactly right. So he didn't play. He played pretty terrible. And then to come out after that, then he didn't finish the game and say, I want a new contract. It just came across as a little bit asinine. But I'm all for guys. I'm a big advocate for guys getting their money because we have so many players in the past in the National Football League, great players, Hall of Fame players that didn't get their money. So if he can get it somehow, some way, I just think it would be an insult to the league if he got 45 or 50, or if he helped reset the market. That would be a slap in the face of all the players that really work on their craft.
Just really quick, first 6 games without DeAndre. Home against the Chiefs, home against the Chiefs, home against the Rams, at Carolina, home against the Eagles, at Seattle, and Thursday night game, home against the Saints. If they can get the 3-3, there, I think the Rams and the Chiefs games are both toss-up games to me. They're in Arizona. And it's early. The way I always look at the first 4 weeks is I never try to judge the NFL. Kenneth, you and I talked about this. I never judge the NFL the first 4 weeks because guys don't play in preseason anymore. So your first 4 weeks is really kind of your preseason. And after the first 4 weeks, when we get to week 5, then I go,
it's game time. It's game time.
Now let me look around the league.
The Eagles are actually a solid team also. So put that out there.
Carolina, I think they get. Up in Seattle, I think they get. And the Saints at home, I think they get. There's 3. If they can scrap one of those other ones, okay? If they can scrap one of those other ones, they get DeAndre back at 4-2 and game on.
And I agree. I think that's why I said it's going to be interesting. This is great proving grounds for him. Yep. So I'm excited to see what he does, and maybe he can rewrite things and kind of get his career back on track. But I do want to say
it's an interesting.
No, it is. I think it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be fun to watch, and we'll see if he is either going to falter or he's going to rise to the occasion. But I want to give before quick because we're going to jump into basketball. I have a few players that I have team fits for him. All right, one I got Akeem Hicks, who I love. Akeem Hicks. I would love the Broncos for him. I think the Broncos would be a really good fit. They run that 3-4 defense, little multiple fronts. He can be a 3 technique. He can be a 5 technique or whatever in the 3-4 defensive end. And I think he can really help push the pocket, free up Bradley Chubb, free up Randy Gregory. I think he'd be a really good chess piece for them on that defensive line. VJ mentioned Will Fuller. I think it's just a foregone conclusion. if this man doesn't miss the year, because Deshaun Watson might miss the year. If he plays, I think Will Fuller to Browns would be a good reunion. He'd be a field stretcher for him, open things up for Amari Cooper down low, and they just I think they just drafted that kid David Bell out of Purdue, who I think is pretty solid.
He's not missing a year though. So let's just get that straight. He's not missing a year. Deshaun,
look, he's gonna miss a lot of time.
6 games most.
8.
I talked to an NFL lawyer 2 weeks ago, and that's what he told me. That's when I was on Fox Sports Radio with Brian. No, I spoke to a guy that was in the studio there, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, real quick, Deshaun Watson." He goes, "I can see 6, VJ." He goes, "But honestly, probably 4, but 4 to 6, it won't be." I said, "So he's playing?" He goes, "Oh no, he's playing this year. He's gonna play this year. They can't, even with the arbitration, even with the investigation going on." With the interviews and the meetings they're having now, it's not going to affect it the way the NFL is gonna respond. This is all kind of paperwork.
So 6 games.
I listen. I'll be real with you, man. Look, I love the NFL. I mean, I love football, but I don't love the NFL. But I love football. The NFL is the biggest bullies on the block, but they're also the best. But they're also the best businessmen on the block, and they'll slap them because they want to show we care. I think 3.
They don't care.
I think 3.
They don't. 3 to 4. 3 to 4.
Look, okay. Well, I'll tell you this. As a football guy, that 3 to 4. I mean, I guess it's all about him playing, but I don't see the Browns making the playoffs. I thought it was a long shot, even with him playing. But him missing 3 games, they're done. So
yeah, because here's the thing about it. The criminal part of it has been dismissed. The criminal part of it has been dismissed. So they can't go back. All they can do is say that you broke the player conduct rule, player conduct, because you put yourself in this position. And I'm not on either side. I tell people all the time, I wasn't there. Big Ben, I wasn't there. Mike Tyson, I wasn't there. I don't know. So I'm not taking sides. But what I do know is there's always 3 sides to every story. Their side, and what really happened. And if he is telling the truth, if this man is really innocent, guys, this is it's jacked up. It really is messed up because it's going to hang over his head forever. It's never going. Certain things you can't scrub off. Deadbeat dad, sexual offender. You can't, and like child, messing with children and stuff. Yeah. You can't scrub that off. No, that's for life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with that. I think he misses.
It's interesting.
I think he misses a substantial amount of time, but once again,
I just don't think the NFL cares. To be completely honest with you.
Well, in today's social climate, they have to appear like they care.
I thought you were gonna say they have to. I was gonna say
no. In today's social climate, they have to appear as if they do care. So, I'm not saying that they do, but hey, the way things are perceived, perception matters. So I had Will Fuller going to the Browns. Interesting, when we were talking about the Colts, I would like Cole Beasley for him. I think Cole Beasley would be a good fit in the slot for him to go with Alex Pierce, that kid they drafted out of Cincinnati. And I'm a USC guy. Michael Pittman Jr. has done a really good job as their number 1 wide receiver, getting better every single year. This guy, Anthony Barr, I think there's 2 teams he could possibly go to. Remember, he almost signed with the Jets, and then he fleeced them at the last minute, went back to the Vikings a few years ago.
Everybody's telling the Jets no.
Bum-ass Jets, as VJ says.
I could see him possibly going to the Jets, or because and this is not me being a homer, but I could see him going to the Cowboys because George Edwards, who was his linebacker and defensive coach up in Minnesota, is in Dallas. And I'll say this, guys, about Anthony Barr. I love what they did there in Minnesota from a defensive standpoint, but I think the biggest travesty is making Anthony Barr a strong side linebacker, because I think people forget when he was coming out of UCLA, he was a pressure player. He was a pass rusher. He was a guy that was predicted to come in and do Von Miller-esque, Micah Parson-esque, maybe not as versatile, but as a pass rusher, stand-up linebacker, and put his hand in the dirt on third downs, and he just hasn't done that in Minnesota. So I think you could see Anthony Barr's career. He may still have some very good years in front of him if they utilize him more as a pass rusher. So that's what I have for him. a guy that I love, who's one of my favorite backup running backs in the league. He could be your fringe starter. He could be your backup. I love Latavius Murray. And I thought the Saints did him so dirty because they didn't want to pay him his money. And it wasn't because he wasn't playing well. And it hurt Alvin Kamara because Alvin Kamara missed the most. He had to take the most snaps he ever took in his career. But Latavius Murray, I have him going. I think the Falcons will be a really good fit for him because they don't really have any running backs there. Cordero Patterson he's like their flex.
You're gonna get him killed in Atlanta, Kenneth. Here's
the thing. Let me ask you this. Let's think about it. If I'm Latavius Murray, okay, you could either be a second or third back for a contending or more competitive team, or if you're a guy that's competitive and you really want to get those snaps, because Latavius Murray has proved that he can be an effective starter in this league. He's done it before, and I think he's still playing really good ball. He was playing good ball in Baltimore last year. You go to Atlanta where you're going to get those snaps and you're versatile. So it's not like they're going to have to take you off the field. So I like the fit I think it's a good job for him to help rebuild his value. He goes there on a 1-year deal. They're going to move you around and use you all kind of ways as a receiver and obviously in the running game as well. But they don't have any running back. I mean, if Cordell Patterson, who we all know was a receiver at a damn Tennessee, if he's your primary running back, I think if I'm Latavius Murray, I'd be like, I'll take the Falcons for $500.
The reason why I say you get him, if you're talking receiver, linebacker, yeah, but running back at his age to go try to prove something, to get yourself crushed with Marcus Mariota as your quarterback. Your best receiver being suspended for the year.
What do you mean? Desmond Ritter's going to be their quarterback. Drake London will be their number one wide receiver.
Nah, Marcus Mariota's going to start. Stop it.
I agree. I think Mariota.
Desmond Ridder will be their starter at some point this year.
No, he's not. Okay. No, he's not.
Okay.
So.
At some point,
all right, like what? Week 12 when they're 2-10?
Week 5.
Or when Mariota pulls his calf or something crazy like that.
True, because Mariota, and that's okay. So that's even worse. So you're gonna stick him with a rookie quarterback?
I think Desmond Ridder is gonna be a lot better than people want to give him credit for.
But you're trying to play Malik Willis. You know what, man?
Okay.
Desmond Ridder what are you talking about? Desmond Ridder was like a 3-4 year starter at Cincinnati. You're comparing him to Malik Willis.
I'm not going to do this with you today.
Malik Willis is a baby. Desmond Ridder's a grown man. When you watch Desmond Ridder in an interview and you watch Malik Willis in an interview, when you watch Desmond Ridder, you're like, damn, that's a guy I can see leading my franchise.
I don't care about interviews.
Bro, presence matters.
Okay.
Presence in a quarterback matters.
It does, but
Malik Willis doesn't have a commanding presence. He sounds like a little kid that's still growing, and I'm excited for him. He's a good kid.
So did Pat Mahomes, and I'm not calling him Mahomes.
And he sat a year.
But when Mahomes first spoke,
and Mahomes sat a year.
Oh, he sounds like a baby.
And Patrick Mahomes sat a year behind.
And then look what he did in the second year.
Once again, I think Malik Willis has a vast amount of potential, but he's going to sit. Desmond Ridder's ready to play now.
Yeah, well, Malik Willis is going to sit until Ryan Tannehill just absolutely chokes, and it's going to happen this year. I was on VJs and Sportsmanlike Conduct a couple Fridays ago, and we talked about this. I think that Ryan Tannehill, he's insecure about his job because of what happened in the playoffs. So I think the Titans drafted Malik knowing, hey, man, look, we could, Malik Willis could be our guy of the future. And if Ryan Tannehill is going to be on a super, super short leash this year. Yeah. I really believe it. And, I wouldn't be shocked if Ridder started, and that's due to the fact that Mariota just doesn't have the best of injury histories. Mariota is prone to injuries. And about Latavius Murray.
And bad play.
Latavius Murray, the Falcons would be nice, but maybe the Cardinals. We were just talking about. Maybe he goes up and teams up with Kyler Murray, Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore, people who want to be there, right?
And I would like that. I would actually like that fit.
Connor's injury prone. If you're Latavius Murray, you could go there and
I like that. That's good. I'll take that.
I'll give you another team. Now that you guys brought them up, New York Giants.
Yes, because Saquon
New York
Barkley.
Giants. You don't know what's up with Saquon.
Yeah.
I do like the moves they made on offense. They have weapons on the outside to get the ball. I know last year was a baby diaper fest up there. I get
the
that.
Eagles.
Baby field diaper. I get that, but And I'm just going off of what you're saying, Kev. If you want to go somewhere where you're gonna get some carries, and you might have a shot at winning some games and being in it. It's the NFC least. We all know that. So really quick sidebar bet. So over. Come on, let's do another DoorDash here. Over or under Ritter. How many games before he's the starter? You call it.
5 max.
All right, I'll take the over.
Okay.
I'll take the over.
Over, yeah.
I'll take the over. Hold on. But a Mariota injury doesn't count.
Oh, yeah.
What?
A Mariota injury because
my God.
Well, hold on. No. This is why, bro. Mariota can run into his own damn lineman and get hurt. That's not, that wouldn't be fair.
But you're talking about an injury-prone player, VJ.
No, he just had one major injury, and then it was hell for him to try to get his job back. People keep calling him injury-prone. He's not injury-prone. He tore his ACL.
That's not just it though. He's had more minor ones.
Yeah, he's had more minor injuries.
I know, but because
he broke his.
I'm sorry, but it was a leg injury. When you're trying to come back from injury like that, guys, you're gonna have other nagging injuries because my man said injuries counting best. All right, Andre, I ain't mad at you. All right, you know what? Screw it, man. I'm a betting man anyway. Y'all see the Husky best back there. Fine, I'll take the over 5.
Okay,
and we'll leave it at that.
And I want the bet. I want the belt when I win. Anyways,
not on that bet. Not on that. You got a bigger bet. We need a bigger bet on that. Call the Cowboys. Call the Cowboys. Get to the Super Bowl or something like that. You win that, I'll give you the belt.
Look, I don't have it.
People actually have the Cowboys making the Super Bowl.
He did last year.
It's a homer pick.
No, I had to make in the conference championship. I had to make in the Super Bowl.
I had the Seahawks being the second best team in the NFC West. That's a homer pick.
Kenneth, stop.
I had them in the conference championship.
And then I said, so they get to the conference championship game, they win it, and you win. You said,
well, what did I tell you?
Yeah, they win it. I said, okay, so they go to the Super Bowl.
I said they had the best defense left in the NFC in the playoffs, and that's why I was confident in that. But I said conference championship. So, yeah, I'm not going to be that Cowboys fan. Oh, they're going to the Super Bowl. No, I'm not going to be that guy. But
how far are they going this year?
Playoffs. I think divisional round.
I like, but you know what? Respect for you bringing it back a little bit. Respect.
Yeah, no, because I gotta be realistic. A lot of question marks, and I'm not sold on Mike McCarthy. So we'll see what happens.
God, but that last year, man,
I hear my son doing something he shouldn't be doing. As you guys notice, I'm playing daddy duty. It's my daughter Journey. And I got Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on the TV for my son, but I hear something that I shouldn't be hearing. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm doing daddy.
You know what? I think it's time since we're in hour 2, we have to get to basketball.
Sure.
I
mean, we've had first of all, it's been very interesting conference finals.
Blowout game right now out there in the Miami Boston world. The Celtics.
Well, hold on. Remember, I'm DVRing, guys. Please don't ruin the game for me. I'm DVRing.
Me too. I just checked the updates. See if it's worth watching.
But it's a blowout so far.
Yeah.
Why are you guys? Didn't I just ask y'all not to ruin the game for me?
We're not ruining it. You don't know who it is.
Did by even saying a blowout is ruining it.
I never said the score, and it's still early. It's still early. It's still early.
All right, it's even. So how about this? Since those teams are playing right now, let's go ahead and let's start with the Mavericks, Golden State Warriors. And Emmett, I guess I'll let you kick it off, and you can tell me what some of your thoughts are on that series. I mean, it's 3-0 now, and it's getting 3-0.
First of all, I think I'll lead with my thoughts on the Mavericks, KC and VJ. I think that the theme, especially of Game 3, was that the Mavericks need help, man. They really do. I mean, they scored 100 points last night, and that's not a bad score. But 40 points for Luka, 26 points for Spencer Dinwiddie, and 20 points for Jalen Brunson. I'm going to do a little bit of math here. 40 plus 26 plus 20, that gets you 86 points. The Mavericks scored 100 points. That is 3 guys. And VJ was talking about it earlier. Reggie Bullock screwed him out of a bet and probably screwed his team. He was not very good. Dwight Powell, not a good starting center. I think Luka has been carrying. I really do. I mean, he's been dropping like 35, 40 points per game, in this, conference final. And Luka really, destroyed the Suns. I mean, that's kind of obvious. So I think if you are the Dallas Mavericks, if you're Luka, you really want help during the offseason. I think it's what you need to be able to win. And I don't know if it's a for sure thing with winning, but just to, show some improvement. And it shows, the Warriors. The Warriors are so good at adapting on the fly, man. Like you got your guy, obviously you have Curry, Clay, Wiggins, but it's not just those guys. You obviously Draymond Green. That guy means so much to the Golden State Warriors, right? Draymond Green is your leader. Like he's kind of your point guard, if you will. I mean, he sets everything up. And also, I mean, it's not you got Jordan Poole off the bench. You got Kevon Looney contributing at center. Otto Porter Jr. I mean, who had injuries last night. But that Warriors team is so good. And, I think, the Mavericks, they're down 3-0. History just shows they're not going to come back and win. I mean, they have to put up some sort of a fight tomorrow. I don't see him going out like that 4-0 in the Western Conference Finals. I think Luka is going to be in full on God mode tomorrow. Luka is gonna, Luka's back's gonna hurt after that game because he's gonna be carrying the Mavericks, win or loss. I mean, he has been already. Yeah, Brunson and Dinwiddie. What I will say is they are nice players, but when the total amount of points scored by your team after those players is 14, and it's players are choking, all of this, to me, man, that just shows the Mavericks need another guy, man. They need something, It's really, I like Luka, so it sucks to see. But I also like this Warriors team, and Steph Curry had a super nice performance last night, and I just think Luka is gonna carry the Mavs, and it might not work. I mean, I think the Mavs could pull something off tomorrow. I think the Warriors might maybe they let their guard down for a game or two, and the Mavs get them. And that's end up in a gentleman sweep for the Warriors, obviously in 5 games. And it's really interesting, man. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
I think, and because I know VJ has some he has some interesting takes on this one. But when looking at this series, I think it's good for Luka. Yeah, I'll be honest, I was kind of riding the hype train, and I was believing that he was going to be enough, but he just hit another wall. Right, for 2 years or 2 or 3 years, the wall was the Clippers. But now he's hitting one in the Warriors, a team that, to tell you the truth, maybe they're at a different stage where you see Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green at different stages of their career, but they're the perfect balance of talent and youth. And
can I say something real quick before you literally remind me of my point?
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I said this in the Grizzlies series. It might have been with VJ. It might have been on my show, or it might have been on Twitter. I don't know. I talk a lot of sports, and I just said, a team with, just experience like the Warriors, they have deep playoff experience, and it's a lot of it. That could just overcome a team of its own, right? Like Luka, he's had his experience, but the Warriors' experience is just crazy. Like they went to finals 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 and lost twice, right? So the Warriors are just very playoff experience, and that's just enough to beat a team already, like compared to an inexperienced team. The playoffs are a different game. Go ahead.
Well, the way I see it is obviously once experience counts. I think this team is very similar to Golden State of 2015, where they play 8 or 9 deep into their bench. But I think the part that sucks is that you look at the Mavericks. I mean, for the first time, we're seeing Luka Doncic really get some help in Jalen Brunson. Spencer Dinwiddie have his games.
Jalen Brunson's been balling. I have to give the dude credit.
Jalen Brunson has been balling. But I think in the end, the team with the better bench is winning.
Yep.
Golden State is beating them in many different facets, right? And it's not just shooting. I mean, I think that they not only are they shooting better from the field, they're shooting 46.9% from the field compared to the Mavericks 40. I mean, they were better from the three, right? 34.4 to the Mavericks 28.9. They were better. They were better at the free throw line, right? They shot 88%. They had more steals, and
I got a stat for you.
And here's the crazy part: they had more points in the paint, and for a team that plays small, they had more points in the paint. So I think what you're saying, a lot of people are talking about whispers of maybe a Rudy Gobert going to them. They definitely going to need a big, but I think this is really good for Luka because he's realizing that it's going to take a little bit more to make it to the next level. And we know Luka comes in, he kind of has this mindset where I can come into every season out of shape. I can kind of play my way into shape and we'll figure it out and we'll win a lot of ball games. But now I think he's going to need to realize that you're going to need to put in a lot of overtime during the off season to come into the season ready and really get your guys ready to play. But I think this is a good learning lesson for him.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm trying to, I found something on Stat News. I'm trying to confirm it, but there it is. The Mavs have been rebounded by 140 rebounds in this playoffs. Out rebounded. To me, that's crazy. I mean, the Mavericks need help with not just offense. They do need a rebounder extraordinaire to come and grab boards and play ball hawk defense at that center position. I mean, 140. That's a lot of rebounds.
Yeah, look. When your star player is leading you in rebounds, I think that's a problem. Because somebody else is supposed to do that dirty work. And Luka Doncic had 11 rebounds.
Yeah, Luka, and he's moving that ball around too. Like Luka's he's like I made the joke earlier. Luka's back is probably hurting because he is carrying the Mavs. Like, it's just embarrassing. I mean, 14 points for the whole team besides Brunson, Dinwiddie, and Doncic. Like that explains a lot to me. And like I said, I think Luka is gonna go absolutely just insane tomorrow because I don't think Luka's competitive. He doesn't want to lose in a sweep.
How much more insane can he go?
I don't know. I mean, I mean, you're not wrong.
What's more insane? 60
you're
points?
You're not wrong. But Luka Doncic, that's how he is, man. That's how he is as a guy. Like that's how he is as a player. Like Luka is going to put all these guys on his back, and I mean, the Warriors they're just meant to be in the finals. I mean, they have that experience, and this team. You're right. They do remind you of the 2014-2015 Warriors. Pardon me, where it's not just like KD and all them. Like this team. Yeah, you have Curry, Clay, Draymond, but it's built deep, right? Like, it's not even that like Jordan Poole and Looney are like, dropping like 20 every night. Like they're putting in solid contributions. Poole only had 10 points last night, but he had a couple clutch threes. And then when, Curry or Clay is an off night, Poole will come in and ball out. Like, and then I think Andrew Wiggins killing a man on live TV. You saw the memes about that. That was, Wiggins.
Oh, and shout out to Andrew Wiggins, man. I think a lot of people wrote him off, myself included.
I saw something last night. Yeah, where people are like, it's never too late to write off a bust, and Andrew Wiggins proved that.
He's really revived his career, and crazy enough, made his name as a defensive player. Where if you look at some of his years in Minnesota, he was terrible defensively, but he really worked on that part of his game to keep himself on the court. Obviously, we know he already had somewhat of an offensive game, but that's improved as well. So shout out to that guy
especially his field goal percentage too. That was his issue. Like his field goal percentage has gone up a lot. Yeah. VJ, you back?
No. He's here.
I've been here. I'm just letting y'all rap before I give y'all a real answer to this question.
Give us answer the question. Look. Tell us why the Mavericks are down 3-0.
All right, so let's go a little deeper, man. Y'all know me once again. Y'all snorkeling, I scuba dive, guys. This actually goes back a few years, and I was on this. I was on this other show with him and his other guests where I told them it was actually game one of the second round between the Mavs and the Sun was going on while we were doing the show, and I told him on his show that the Mavs are going to win that series in 7 because in a 7-game series. I'll take Luka over Devin Booker was my exact words. I'll take Luka over Devin Booker. I'm always go with the best player. All right. So normally the best player is probably going to win in a 7-game situation. So if you really go back and you look at the Warriors, guys, the last 2 years, they have been the most injured team of star players in the league. They lost Clay for 2.5 years. Yep. If you go back to the Raptors finals, okay, they're gonna win that finals if KD doesn't blow his Achilles out. So they would already have ring number 4. Steph Curry would already have ring number 4. Draymond would already have ring number 4. Clay would already have ring number 4. Durant would have his 3rd ring. Okay. Steph also has dealt with the wrist and the ankle over the last 2 years, off and on. Draymond missed 31 games or 29 games or something like that this year. I said this last year on my show. What Steve Kerr decided to do was we're going to get all these young guys ready because I know we'll get these guys back. And we've been running the West, and sometimes it just happens like this where you run into some injuries and your run goes down a little bit. And that's all that pretty much happened with the Warriors. And then also, if you look at Luka, I'm not going to say Luka has been that much overrated. Why is this making so much noise? What'd you do to that? Leave it alone, girl. I'm sorry. My daughter over here messing with something over here, man.
Whoa, just so we're clear before you say it, disclaimer. I hope you're not about to say Luka Doncic is overrated.
Yeah.
No, I would hope you're not going to fixate your mouth to say that
his daughter distracted him. She realized how bad the take was.
Luka Marcellus Doncic.
He's not overrated, guys, but at the end of the day, you said it yourself. He's run into some teams or he's run into a wall. He doesn't show up in shape. He kind of plays himself in shape. And I heard a guy today give a really good comparison. He's got some Larry Bird in him. He's got a lot of Larry Bird in him. He's also got some Carmelo Anthony in him too. He doesn't show up. Let me finish. He's not great on defense.
Yep.
He's got better this year.
His usage rate is a lot, and it goes up in the playoffs. So you guys are calling for other guys, but the only guy that's really getting the ball is Brunson and really Dinwiddie. He's not really sharing the ball. Where's the triple doubles we normally see out of Luka? Because he's not feeding other players. His usage in the playoffs goes up. Your usage in the playoffs should be more steady and even, because that means you're getting more guys involved because you need more guys. Shaq calls them the others. I don't like that because I feel like it's disrespectful. It's like, yeah, them other guys. I coined my own phrase on Fox Sports Radio, and Scott Shapiro, the VP, loves it. I call them the must-haves because you must have these guys. They're not the others. They're the must-haves. And he doesn't have must-haves. He needs a B. That's Captain Obvious stuff, guys. He needs a B. We know that. Trae Young needs a B. We know there's certain guys in the league, they don't have a B. They don't have a Batman to their Superman. They don't even have a Robin. They don't even have an Aquaman.
Superman to their Batman, but continue.
Well, no. Well, I like Batman more. So it's Superman to Batman because I like Batman more.
All right, yeah.
Batman's more realistic. Okay. I can find a rich white dude. You can't find nobody that can stop bullets. There's no such planet called Krypton. No, I'm just. But I'm not calling them overrated. But if you look at Phoenix only got the hype they got this year because of what they did last year. True. But they beat all injured teams to the finals. And when they got to the finals, the Bucks whooped their butt 4 games straight to finish them off in 6. And then if you go back the year before that, what Luka did in the bubble, nobody believes in the Clippers anyway, right? Nobody loves the Clippers. Nobody believes in the Clippers.
Besides Ben Mallett.
And there are people that are kind of iffy on Kawhi. So what I'm saying is the work he's done in the resume, you have to just look at the whole totality of it and not just that one series or that one game. Now, to the Warriors, think about it, guys. They don't even have Wiseman on the roster right now.
No,
they don't. And I love Wiseman.
Iggy is just chilling and just waiting until they need him. He ain't hurt. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He's just, but this is what Steve Kerr has done. He got these guys prepared over the last 2 years with no Clay and with Steph having the wrist and the ankle and Draymond being out. True. And that's why you have Emmett speaks to their championship mental. Yeah, that's obvious. We've seen it. We know they've been there. This is going to be their 6th finals since 2015. They're going for their 4th ring since 2015. I just think it's time that we get off the bubble. We get off the AAU Mickey Mouse bubblegum tournament that they had. Realize that was some BS and a fluke. Last year, the Suns was some BS and a fluke. And the Kings of the West have always still been, since 2015, the Golden State Warriors. This series is not surprising me. I had Golden State in 5. This series is not surprising me, guys. And it's over tomorrow. It's over. There's no tournament sweep. It's over tomorrow. This is what championship teams do. Shaq could sit on TV and say, "This is what you're supposed to do. You get them down. You got them down 3-0. And in that building, you got to put them away. You can't let them come back. Me, Kobe, D-Fish, Big Shot, Bob, all those guys. We get you down 3-0. Gotta put him away. Can't let him hang around. It's over. It's over. Luka could go nuts. He's been going nuts. He's got 3 40-point games in the playoffs.
There's nothing else he can do.
There's nothing else he can do, and that's why be wary, guys. Booker, next Kobe, my ass. Jason Tatum.
I always hated that. I always hated that comparison.
I don't know what Jason's doing tonight. I'll watch the game. I'll go in the living room, watch the game, and get done. But like 10 points, bro. Like Charles Barkley said, you can't call yourself a great player and be held to 20 points per game in the playoff series. You just can't. He even said it, and I went back and looked it up. Charles says that I don't think I ever got held when I was the man, when I was the bus driver. Y'all remember the whole bus driver comment he made, and that went on for about 2 weeks. He said, when I was driving the bus, I ain't never was held to 20 points. Bruh, when you supposed to be the dude, you cannot have 10 points in a home playoff game. You just can't. Which means, he's still a really good player, guys. But let's calm down on great. So with Luka, he's a really good player. He's a really good player. I can't call him great yet because all I've really seen you do is put up some numbers, yes, and you beat the Suns, which I picked him to do. But I look at the Suns and go, dog, last year's run was some fluke. That's why y'all fed, not you guys, but that's why the media all fed into them because of last year. But I'm looking at this year in the Western Conference where a lot of guys missed time. Jamal Murray is still out, so they go to Nuggets. The Spurs aren't what they used to be no more. Dame Lillard didn't take a dribble all year, y'all, so that eliminated Portland. The Lakers had their issues. That eliminated the Lakers. Kawhi didn't take a dribble. That eliminated Kawhi. So you should have won 64, 65 games this year in the West, bro.
So, okay,
right?
So let me ask you this. Even if we look at the series that they lost to the Clippers, right? Because which was just a showcase because they were throwing everything at them and couldn't do anything with them. Yep. With three pretty solid, well-respected defensive players in this league.
Yep.
Do you think that any other player could win the amount of games that Luka has won with the Mavericks with the supporting cast that he's had? Because this Jalen Brunson playing like this now, this is like a new development. Like he hasn't always had a number two. We wanted Kristaps Porzingis to be that guy, but he couldn't stay.
It just didn't work.
And when he was on the court, him and Luka didn't get along. Also, I don't know if you guys know that, but him and Luka didn't get along personally. No, yeah.
Okay, I want to say something too.
Luka went to the VP of operations and complained about him, and then he went to Cuban, and then they decided to move on. That was personal. That wasn't nothing about basketball. Luka didn't like him. They did not. And what it was, Porzingis had a problem with Luka coming in and being the man. So Porzingis was a little thin-skinned and didn't like it, and they pretty much just said, "Okay, well, we'll go with the young buck. It was like a Kobe Shaq thing, right? Shaq, pay me. You know, Shaq said running down the court, looking at the buses, pay me, and Jerry, Dr. Jerry Buss is like, we'll go with the. I know I'll hurt for about a year and a half, 2 years, but we're going with the young guy. And thank you for your service and your 3 championships, sir, and have a good career.
Porzingis didn't even have that much of an impact.
True. But so to answer your question, do I think?
I think he's a great. I can name
player. I think if you put Dame Lillard on that team, they win the same amount of games.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. But you asking me for a name, and I give you one. But back to the main topic, because I know I can rant and get off topic. I want to keep your show structured, and respect your show. I just think that the Warriors were the forgotten team because we wanted to fall in love with the bubble. We wanted to fall in love with who that's out here in LA and all of that, and then the Suns, and all of that got washed. And you really look and go, bro, they didn't even have their team for 2 years, and now that they have their team back, they're right back in. They're right. Yeah. It's not a coincidence that they have their team back, and this isn't even the best team they've had. They don't have a David Lee, they don't have a Leandro Barbosa, they don't have some of the other, they don't have an Andrew Bogut. This is not even their best team. This
or 2015 Iggy.
They don't have a KD. This might be like their 3rd or 4th best finals team that they're about to go to the finals with.
Agreed.
And I think the Warriors, at the beginning of the year, I had the Warriors winning it all, but I had them in the finals against the Bucks. I just don't think I didn't think the Bucks would have enough, which we saw even without Middleton. That series goes a whole different way with them in Boston. But I had them winning it all from the beginning of the year. I'm glad that pick is still alive for me. But I think this is a lot more to do with just Luka and hitting the wall. I look at that Dallas team and I just go, okay, you could bring a 2 in and you could, bring a free agent in. You still have some other things to kind of do with that team. I just don't think you bring a 2 and it fixes it. Luka's got to come in shape. He does, guys. He's got to come in
big.
shape.
No, that's big.
That is big.
He's got to make a conscious effort. A conscious effort to defend. Great players, great. That's why he's really good. Great players, both sides of the court. Both sides of the court. Every night. Not some nights. Not when you need it. Every night. And he doesn't do that right now. So he still will fall in the really good player category, which is fine.
So by that merit, who's in the great category right now?
Nope. So for me, Steph's great. Steph's great. Yeah, Steph's great. Steph put on 50.
Giannis?
Listen, hold up, Gian. Oh, come on, Giannis. Oh, absolutely. Hold on. So Giannis. When he's healthy, Anthony Davis is great. First team All NBA, first team All Defensive 2 years ago. Remember, so see, that's what I'll be trying to tell
I can Anthony Davis is a great player. I can't disagree.
Hold on, I'm not an AD guy, but if you're asking me as a professional sports journalist, when you make all NBA first team and then you make All NBA first defensive team, you're a great player.
Okay, so all right, so Anthony, I'll let. So Anthony,
back to Steph. Hold up, back to Steph. Steph for years can't defend, can't do that. Okay, fine. Well, he did lead the league in steals for 2 years, so I'm not sure I can't defend.
Does that make you a great defender?
Only plays well. People say about Allen Iverson too. I don't know if it makes you a great defender, but I'll take the guy on my team who can lead the league in steals. I'll take that. But
me too.
This year and last year. 15 pounds of muscle, a concerted mental effort to be better on defense. And now great player. Giannis, great player. Anthony Davis, when he's healthy, and I'm not an AD guy, but when the man is healthy, when he's healthy, 2 years ago when the Lakers won the Mickey Mouse Bubblegum AU championship, let him in scoring, let him in assists, scoring, rebounds, steals, and blocks. LeBron only led in assists. He led him in every other category. That's a great player. Jimmy Butler, great player. Jimmy Buckets, great player. Doesn't disappear. Never disappear. Every night.
So we're in a world.
Yeah.
And I love Jimmy Butler. I'm not yet. But I don't think there's let's talk about multiverse. Okay. I don't think there's any place in the multiverse, in the cosmos, where we could call Jimmy Butler great and not call Luka Doncic great.
Well, that's
if we're going that way, yes.
But see, that's what media. But see, this is what media does, Kenneth.
It's not about media because Jimmy Butler can't.
I'm not saying you.
He's a bigger person. Okay.
I'm not saying you. I'm speaking in general. I'm not saying you personally, but in general, if TV and highlights just keep Luka, but every time I put on a Jimmy Butler game, he doesn't disappear. He doesn't have any holes in his game. He defends his ass off. He gets his team involved. He'll give you 40 if you need it, but he'll also give you just 26 if you need it, with 8 boards, with 9 assists, with 2 steals, with a block.
He's one of the top 3 or 4 best two-way players in the NBA.
So then that categorizes as great if you're one of the top two-way players.
I guess if you look at it from that angle, I think it's just hard for me to see Luka having done some of the things that he's done with no athleticism, and I'm gonna always throw that out. He's not athletic.
And also, that's not fair. Why?
He's not athletic. He's not. He's not athletic. He's athletic. He's athletic compared to maybe a guy that doesn't play. But in the basketball world, there are bench players that are eons more athletic than Luka Doncic.
Why? Because they can jump higher. Why? Because they can jump higher.
They're faster. They're quicker.
You have to be athletic to have his footwork. He has almost superb. He has skilled. That's athletics. Athleticism
no,
is part
skill's
of skill.
Not athleticism. Skill.
Oh yeah, it is.
Skill.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. Skill's not athleticism.
So was Tim Duncan? Was Tim Duncan athletic?
I mean, Tim Duncan is athletic. He just was a very bland player. He wasn't a very stylistic player. But Tim Duncan had athleticism.
What Shaq call him? The big fundamental.
It's because Tim Duncan brought literally everything.
But okay, so watch this. But Luka Doncic. This is I guess we would stream off into a whole different topic. We're watching today. We're watching two Europeans who aren't athletic, who are just skilled out the ass, come into the NBA and run circles around guys.
Who's the other?
Jokic runs circles around guys.
Oh man, yeah.
What about Giannis?
Now,
Giannis is an
Jokic.
athletic. Giannis is an athletic freak. Giannis is an athletic freak.
Okay,
Yeah, but Jokic can barely dunk. Luka comes through the lane and has jammed on people, bro. My son can jump higher than Jokic.
Look. Swan said this. He said, "I don't think Jokic can jump over a phone book."
I mean, neither, bro.
But he can do what he does, whatever but he's so goddamn skilled. And I think that's what
that's skill. Because what Jokic does is Jokic leads that like the Nuggets. Like another guy who gets 20 points, like 9 boards, 8
29. He averaged 29.
Yeah,
he had almost 30 this year.
Yeah. Like and it's not just points, it's rebounds, it's assists. I mean, not the best of defenders, kind of same thing as Luka. And I think Luka is still Luka does make some crazy plays. And the thing is with Luka, and the thing is with every star, and this may be obvious. But the thing is every star has their criticism. That's just media. Like, obviously, Jimmy Butler and Luka, there's differences.
I don't like the comparison.
You know why I don't like. You know why I don't like the word athletic. And Andre, I appreciate you, brother, man. I really do appreciate you tuning in to Tiberius' show and showing us love like this, brother. You know I don't like that word because it goes back to my blackness. The word is always designated for minority players to basically almost say we can't think the game. We're just athletic. It's been used. It's been used that way too many times for me to go. Because you're just saying it right now. You guys are saying these white. You ain't said a black player wasn't athletic. You're saying these white players.
There are white athletic players, and I'm just saying Luka's not a highly athletic player. He's more skilled. He's more skilled and fundamentals than he is athleticism.
I agree with him. I don't know if I will put Dirk there, but I've seen Luka come through the lane, spin, and dunk on that. To me, you got to have the athleticism to do that. He's not 6'7". That's not okay, but still, bro. I know some. All right, well, Dirk was 7 foot.
And he wasn't athletic.
So, no. But like I said, I don't want to put a ball on my portion. I just think people need to just kind of look deeper into the Warriors. This doesn't have nothing to do with Luka. No, even his comment, I got a lot to learn. You guys saw the quote that came out there from the
yeah. Did you see what? Did you see this? Okay.
I went on Twitter. I said, bro, this is much to do about nothing. He's being humbled. He's being humbled right now,
and that's good. I think
that's good, and that's fun. I said, good. You guys are looking for something to rip the guy about, and you see that shows you I'm being objective. You're looking to rip the guy. I took nothing. I said this has got much to do about nothing. He's being humbled by some champions, not one time, not 2 times, some 3-time champions.
Gonna be 4
on their way to their 6th finals. He's being the team he just beat before this round. How many rings are in that locker room?
They have one more. They have one more.
No, 0.
A moral ring.
Yeah, well,
okay.
There's 0 rings in that locker room. That's the team he beat, and you go from that to playing these guys
to like one of the top dynasties in like NBA history.
It's a tall order, guy. I'm old, guys. I'm older, and Tiber, you're not too far behind me, but I'm older than both you guys. I mean, I got you by 2 decades almost. It's guys. I can remember times when people thought someone was going to step up and beat the Bulls because of how they looked in that previous series. Oh, you see the Knicks, Ewing and Stockton and Starks and Oakley and Mason and Charles Smith. You see what they just did to the such and such, and they lace them up against Mike and Scotty and BJ and Paxson and Phil and Horace Grant and Cartwright and Luke. You lace them up against them. It's a different beast. Oh, remember the Kings. Oh, the Kings are gonna get the Lakers. Oh, you see what they just did to Portland? The Kings are gonna, and you lace them up against Kobe and Shaq and B.
He's making a good point.
Yeah.
You see what such and such did? They're gonna get the Spurs, and then you step on that court, and it's Duncan and Ginobili and Parker and Bruce Bowen and Popovich is sitting over it. Like 4 assistants that are all head coaches right now. We're sitting over there. There's always a team that looks good, guys, because of what they're coming from. But when you step into champions,
they're playing the for real Golden State Warriors. Who
I don't even think the Mavs. I'm not even thinking. God, they're not playing bad, guys. They're
not.
They played bad. They're not playing bad, but they're playing the Warriors right now. That's the difference.
Yeah, and that's why I said too earlier where VJ, it kind of comes down to the Warriors are like a dynasty, man. They are. And the thing is, too, is I mean, we could see, guys from the Warriors, that staff, we could see them advance and all this. And I just think also like the Luka, it doesn't like you have a point there. The Warriors, everyone oversleeps or people are just sleeping on them, and it's still happening. I still see, these
People,
big name
I
media.
don't mean to interrupt. People aren't sleeping on them. It's the LeBron. Let's just say it's the LeBron effect. We live in an era where whoever the face guy, you guys know it's true. Whoever the face guy is, people like for instance, okay, as quick as I can ask this. What is any reason not to like Steph Curry? What is any reason not to like the guy?
I'm a Curry fan, so
you know why?
Don't ask me
why
that.
People don't, and most people that don't like them, ask them who their favorite player is. They'll tell you LeBron. It's LeBron. Yep. And Curry was the guy in his way.
Yeah.
You know why?
Curry
we didn't do that when
so
Tiberius and I were coming up? You know why that didn't happen back then, Emmett? Because Jordan took out everybody. There was nobody in Jordan.
He kept guys from winning rings. It wasn't the other way around. Yeah,
but it was right. You see the point I'm making? This is what I talk about with sports talk today. This whole comparison thing of like when they were down 50 points to Memphis. The next morning, I won't say his name, a producer from a famous network goes, "Could you imagine if LeBron was that?" I said, "Why do you guys do that?"
I know.
Why do y'all do that? You're only doing that because you're trying to build LeBron more. So you'll go, "Oh, could you imagine if LeBron's team?" Dog, I've seen Jordan's team lose playoff games by 30 points before.
If you're this is my stance on it. If you're the best player in the NBA, you're supposed to cast a dark fucking cloud over the NBA.
Over the NBA.
Over the NBA. When
I agree.
Kobe cast a damn dark cloud over the NBA. Where there was a fear factor with
Kobe.
Guys, let's be honest. Man, so many guys have won their first rings on LeBron's watch. It's ridiculous. It's a free ride out here.
Yeah. Jordan stopped everybody. That's why to me, the GOAT conversation is one or two guys. To me, and you can have who you want. That's fine. I hate the conversation. It's just either Kareem or it's Mike. And there's no real legitimate other answer because I come from the era that winning mattered. Not getting there, not what you could have had, what if this and if they play. Jordan, after they beat the Suns, sat right there and said, "I can't call myself the best. I didn't play against West, Will, Russell, Havlicek."
And that's respect for the game. That's respect for the game.
Exactly. That's why Kobe would never call himself. He's like, guys, like, come on, we can't play. It's era that you can't compare era rules, especially basketball. Rules change. Now they review every damn thing. Like some of these fouls,
there's always at least like 4 controversial calls that people hate on Twitter, like every game.
So that's why.
Well, the NBA is just more soft. Like even me as a younger guy, talking to like people, like even like my dad or you or people who follow know basketball and sports, like sports as a whole, like you can't do what you used to do. So I mean, my stance on the whole GOAT thing too. I mean, I know we have more to talk about here. I'll quickly go and then we'll let KC go on. But Kansas City.
He hasn't said his mind. He said, "I have a nickname for you. This is your nickname."
Hey, man,
you call me ED, dog.
I'll let it ride, man.
If you ever get a text message from somebody, or you ever get a phone call out of nowhere, when you go, "Hello," and you hear, "Yo, KC," you're gonna go, "Oh shit, what's up, man?" Yeah. You'll know who it is.
Yeah, and my thing with the GOAT thing, I never saw Jordan play, but you said it. Jordan just won games, and LeBron. We'd never catch our VJ's favorite guy, his favorite NBA player, LeBron James, saying, "I never played against these guys." He would never say that. So I think the GOAT kind of, they do have to have respect for the game because the GOAT. I mean, it is a weird conversation, especially for basketball because there's all these different answers, and Michael Jordan, like scoring all these, doing all these things, 6-0 in the finals. Like I think it does go down to Jordan as a younger guy and who's seen LeBron. And I've seen LeBron's ups and I've seen LeBron's downs, and this Lakers thing is just LeBron James just fell.
4-7, 4-6.
Yep.
Yeah, 4-6.
I mean,
6-0.
people say the more the merrier, but I'd rather have the undefeated guy in the finals over the guy who went 4-6. To be completely
And even
honest,
Montana's 4-0. Even Montana's 4-0, but Brady's 7-3.
But that's still over 500.
Exactly.
I mean,
no, that's
LeBron James is not 500.
I know that's what puts Brady the GOAT, because I know Montana's 4-0. I know he doesn't have an interception in the postseason. They didn't even throw it around. This is a league now where they're throwing the ball 53, 57, 58% of the time. It's a different league. But the three of us, you would never thought in your lifetime you see one player go to 10 Super Bowls.
No,
not
never.
Finals, not World Series, not U.S. Opens, not Wimbledon's, not Daytona 500. Super Bowls. There's quarterbacks that don't get the none. He's playing.
They're still good quarterbacks.
So that's why Kenneth. That's why I am the way I'm trying to describe Luka. I like Luka a lot. I really do. I just won't call him great yet though, because my level of great, I'm not changing with the times, Kenneth. I refuse. Okay, I'm not changing with social media. I'm not changing with debate show. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stay the way I've been looking.
Okay, so I'll tell you this, and obviously everything coming full circle.
Yeah,
this is where I will meet you halfway.
Okay,
because we talked about a Kobe, because we talked about a Mike, because we're talking about the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, because we're talking about the many great players that have came into the NBA, even guys that went to championships, the Charles Barkley's, guys that put it all on the line. In comparison to those guys, I will say that Luke is not great.
Okay.
Because he hasn't put it all on the line. I think for me, it was the Jimmy Butler. I was like, but you know what? You're right. Because greatness is putting it all on the line. I mean, literally dedicating your life to this game to becoming the best player that you can be. And I can honestly say that Luka hasn't done that. Luka
when you know why I call Jimmy a professional sport, not in shape.
Just one quick second, you know why I call, and this is something I should have said it before, and I apologize, but I got to get this out. You know why I call Jimmy great? Chicago playoffs. He leaves, down. Minnesota playoffs. He leaves, down.
So is Chris Paul great?
Philly, huh?
So is Chris Paul great?
Yeah, even though I don't like him, he's a great player. He's a great player.
All right.
Yeah, even though I don't know. Told you, bro. I really morphed into the professional sports talk journey. I have my feelings. I have my biasness, guys. But foot to the fire, I got to be real. I did a top 10 show the other night. I did a top 10 point guard list. He doesn't crack my top 5 or 6 guys, because I think my top 5 or 6 guys are legitimately better than him. I just happen to have to listen to the same book. In order: Magic, Zeke, Stockton, Steph, Kidd, Oscar, Cousy, Chris Paul, Nash. I think that's a really great list. Now, if you want to move the bottom 3 or 4 guys around, but you can't tell me my top 5: Magic, Zeke, Stockton, Steph, Jason Kidd. Just tell me where I'm wrong. So if I go, Chris Paul's not top 5, and people go, what? They're not. They haven't taken a second. They haven't taken a second to go. Hold on. Give me a minute. Let me. Okay. Who you got, V? And when I name those 5, you kind of got to go.
Did you put? Is Russ in your top 10?
Westbrook?
No. Because you know why? I slide AI in at 10, and people are gonna say, well, he played the 2. He started as a point. He was a point in high school. He was a point at Georgetown. He was a point in Philly until they got Eric Snow. They only moved him to the 2 just so he could play off the ball, and he didn't have to have all of that. But once Eric Snow crossed half court, he gave the ball to Iverson like 60% of the time, and then Iverson ran the offense. So I slid AI in. I slide AI in at 10. I don't have Russ. It's hard to get 10 point guards, guys. It's hard to get Russ. Just tell me. And I know he's got the triple double, but Oscar did it first, so that's why I got Oscar there. I can't discount what Bob Cousy has done. Steph, 3 championships. I know Stockton doesn't have the ring, but he leads 2 categories all time, and he won't get caught. Assists and steals. No one's close. He had 15,000 assists. No one's gonna catch. No one's catching that. No one's catch steals. So he leads in 2 categories, That's why I kind of I know people go, well, Stockton doesn't have a ring. Zeke's got the 2, Magic's got the 5, Steph's got the 3. Jason Kidd's got his championship, 10-time All-Star, 5-time assist champ, All-Star game MVP, 9-time All Defensive Player, 9 times. Jason Kidd was All Defense.
One of the best to do it. Yeah, one of the best to do it.
Sorry, I'm sorry to go back.
No, you're good.
Chris Paul thing. Yeah, to answer your Chris Paul thing. Yes, even though I'm not a fan, Chris Paul is a certified first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a certified great player, but I do believe he is one of the biggest chokers. He is one of the biggest chokers and one of the biggest shrink guys who shrinks when the stages are the biggest in the history of this game.
Which is unfortunate because, like I said, he's definitely an impactful player. But
if he had a championship, he'd be in my top 5.
Well, if he doesn't get if he doesn't, I'll die on this hill. If he doesn't get hurt in that 2018 Houston versus Golden State, then I think
and you know what? You have every right to that opinion, and I would go, okay, you got something there, man. But at the end of the day, all we can go on is by what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If was an 8th, we all be high.
Well, how about this? Let's because obviously we got to wrap up. Let's wrap up talking about.
Can I say one more thing real fast?
Go ahead.
Evan.
So to wrap it, the thing is with Chris Paul is that's just VJ Vernon Husky, the big vanilla funny said it. Choke job. That's Chris Paul, man. Like he could have, as a leader, it should have been his job to beat Luka and the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, both him and D Book were atrocious in Game 7. Like, come on, that's not top 5 point guard in the whole history of the NBA material. He's great, but he's not like that.
You got to go in the Game 7, and he's right. In the Game 7, you just got to go get it, man. You just got to. I always tell people when the money, Kenneth, you know me, baby. When the money, that's why Kobe's my guy. Because when the money was on the table, there's only one instance when he stopped shooting in Phoenix, and everybody. I don't defend that. I was pissed that night watching the game, but I get why he was doing it because even Pulaski and all these LA Times guys were calling him a ball hog from Games 5 and Game 6. So Kobe said, okay, how about this? I'll give it to Chris Mim. Damn it, you go win a Game 7 now. Here, Smush Parker, you go win a game. He was sending a message, and all that stopped after that. So I do it wasn't cool to do, but I get why he did it.
He wanted to prove a point.
Other than that game, when the money was on the table, I know number 8 or number 24, he's gonna be there every time.
When the rubber meets the road, and on both sides of the ball. Yep. But let's talk about this. Obviously, the game's going on right now, and the score is.
No, VJ's gonna kill you. Dog.
His heart dropped. He was like, "Oh no,
I know you. I know that's why I started laughing. I know you, Joe. I know you weren't going to do that.
But
I know the score too.
But obviously, we just saw Miami beat them just this past Saturday, and then they're playing a very competitive game right now. What are some of the things that you guys have seen in this series or so far? And I mean, for me personally, I think these two teams are beating each other up, and I feel like whoever I like the Celtics, but I feel like whoever makes it out this series is going to be so goddamn beat up that Golden State is just going to trounce them.
Let me take this one first. Number one, just so you guys do know, the Warriors have home court advantage over both of these teams because they have the tiebreaker. They have the tiebreaker with the Heat, but they obviously have the better record over. Yeah, no, they do. They have the tiebreaker over the Heat. They have home court in the finals.
Okay.
Yeah, with these two teams, they have home court in the finals. Okay, this series actually is very irritating to watch. I like the physicality, but what happens in this day and age is these guys don't really know how to play physical, so it starts to kind of look dirty. And I think it started with Memphis and the Golden State thing. And Steve Kerr said it. Remember between the first quarter and second quarter when he was asked about physical, he goes, "That wasn't physical, that was dirty." He's talking about the foul that pretty much put Gary Payton Jr. Remember, that's another player they don't have right now. Speaking of the Warriors,
true.
But this series looks like they're trying to make it physical instead of just letting the physicality come
naturally.
And I don't think Boston's built that way. And PJ said it after Game 3. We turn it into a football game, and they couldn't hang with us. And then you got Pritchard kind of holding on to Jimmy Butler's leg, and then him getting that looked kind of dirty. I don't like when physicality turns dirty, and it's because these guys don't know how to play physical in today's game. Now, with all of that being said, it's the referee's fault. You can't start calling basketball a certain way after you've been calling it a certain way for 7 months. You can't do it. I understand playoffs ramp up. It's hard. This ain't ramp up. This is you're letting guys actually just run guys over. You're letting guys grab guys on. LeBron tweeted the other night, something needs to be done about these screens, guys. And then people started going, yeah, did you see Boston in the second round? Oh, yeah. Did you see Miami? There are players sitting at home watching this going, hold on, man. Y'all didn't call the regular season like this. We play, so we know it. Yeah. So the problem I have with the series is, aside any player, it's the fact that the physicality, I get a little juice because I'm like, damn, this feels like Bulls Knicks. This feels like if I go to the Western Conference, the Spurs and the Rockets, how they used to be back in 90s with David Robinson going at it with Olajuwon and Sean Elliott and Mario Illy and Otis Thorpe and Robert Ory and those guys. Physical basketball. These guys today, these kids today, they don't know how to play that way. So it's starting to look like Grant Williams. First of all, the man cries after every call. He's like this, like, bro, come on. We know you're a big Brody guy, but you're just throwing your body in the guy. That's a foul, bro. That's not physical basketball. That's a foul. So
you don't think Boston is built like that? Like you don't think that they're a physical blue-collar team?
No. They're not built like that, bro. Like I said, I hate to be the old guy. I watched enough physical basketball in my life. I know what real.
How about this?
Draymond Green, he knows how to play physical basketball without it being dirty. When I'm watching Grant Williams, the other Williams, the kid with the dreads for the Robert Williams.
So how about this? How about this? Can we agree that for the Boston Celtics that Marcus Smart and Robert Williams actually know how to play? Because I think Marcus Smart is phenomenal.
Man,
and everybody else just kind of tries to follow and fall in line behind them.
Yeah, but also with Marcus Smart too, though, is that a lot of times he does foul, but because he now has that award, he will now
get a pass.
He will now not get called for 25% of the fouls that he commits. It works that way for the rest. Dog, yeah. I watch Draymond play sometimes, and I'm like, damn, Draymond just grabbing dude. But he's also a multi-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. So the referees are more lenient to go, well, that might not be a foul because that guy's won awards. So this is just kind of how he plays. But aside any player, so we could go, and I know your show has the wrap, and we can go player. So I'll just stick with the physicality. It's frustrating to watch because I'm watching two teams play physical who don't really. PJ Tucker, he knows how to be basketball physical. It's not dirty. He's just playing. I like when guys get in each other's face and they start talking. And the other night they had it on the baseline. The refs just it's like, yeah, let them say what they gotta say, and then break it up. Don't double tag. Come on, man. This is for an NBA championship, okay? This is to get to the finals. The last two teams standing. 8-9 months of this shit, and they're fighting for the last two teams. So that's been my main thing. It's just more frustrating to watch. Because it just from game to game, the officiating just isn't consistent. So it's been enjoyable, but I had Heat in 7, and I took the 390. It was a plus 390 in the Heat in 7, so I put $50 on that, and I'll ride with that until the series is over.
You want this, man, or you want me to take it?
Go ahead, Emmett.
All right, thanks.
Go ahead.
Thanks.
I see you over there.
So yeah. I mean, this has been one of the weirdest series. As as a podcast host, as a sports guy, as a fan of the NBA, this series has been kind of odd because there hasn't, these games have ended in not really close matters, and it hasn't been dominated by a team, right? Like the Celtics, the lost game 1 to the Heat. The Celtics took game 2, and the Heat took game 3. And I like what you, Kenneth, and VJ were saying about how valuable Marcus Smart really is to that Celtics team. I think it's, VJ was ripping him. Allen. Yep. And Robert Williams too. Even in Game 7 against the Bucks, he was balling. And I think,
and also, I think Smart's out the rest of the series, guys. He got shot. He got that ankle shot up the other night. That was a bad turner. He got that ankle shot up the other night. Once you go home And I don't care how much ice and stuff you got. Once you go home, man, and you lay down, and that blood don't rush, and that blood rush down there and swells that thing up, I'd be surprised if he plays it. Notice no MRI news either today. That was something. I was like, no MRI news today.
That was alarming.
Yeah, it was alarming. Dude,
the Celtics need smart.
The way he fell and screamed, that means something either got torn in there, something. But he's out tonight, right? I saw that he's out tonight, right?
He's out tonight. He's not playing.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd be shocked if he even play. Okay, so tonight's game 4, game 5. I'd be shocked.
This is going 6 or 7. So he's gonna have time.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be shocked if he makes it back. I really would. That turnover was bad, but a needle can get you back out there, and I think that's what did it. That's why he's in the hallway testing it. Because to not be able to put no weight on it, and then 10 minutes later you can put weight on my ankles look like there's orange. Both my ankles look like there's oranges inside both of them. That's how many times I've turned these bad boys. I know what that feels like. I ain't never got shot up, so I ain't never not been able to put weight on it, and then was back out on the basketball court, baseball diamond, or the football field in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
My fault. Emmett, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that is a very good point, and I think not having Marcus Smart kind of puts the Celtics at a pretty sizable disadvantage. I mean that guy, say what you want to say, but that guy was doing a lot for them, and I think the Celtics are still going to find a way to fight because that's just who they are. And Jason Tatum, I mean he's gonna have to step up the game. He can't be having 10 points in a playoff game. I'm sorry, that's just that if you're the air quotes here, superstar player, you can't be dropping 10 in a playoff game and not looking good. Like and also for the Heat, man, like this is just a rounded team. I mean, you got a Jimmy Buckets, you got Hero who stepped up, and people like that in Bam Adebayo. Like it's a interesting team, and the refs have been a huge issue throughout not just this round but the playoffs. Like you said who James tweeted out the other night about it. It's not the officiating's been weird, and obviously people make jokes about Foster rigging it. It's all over the place, and I think if Marcus Smart was not being able to put weight on that ankle, then that's not a good sign, and that's obvious. And the thing about sports and the thing about sports injuries. No, that's not a good sign. And I wouldn't be shocked if he tried to come out and play, but he ain't going to be at 100%. That's going to take a while. And, VJ thinks he's not going to come back. I mean, I think Marcus Smart is going to try. I think he's going to do everything in his power. But then again, if you have Marcus Smart back and his ankle's so screwed that he's a liability on defense, then how good really is he going to be?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. I think they should try everything in their power. If they can win games without Marcus Smart, because if you make it to Golden State in the finals, you're going to need every bit of what Mark. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Like, so don't waste him on this team. But
Steph doesn't stop running.
No, he doesn't.
Steph doesn't stop running.
He doesn't. So Marcus Smart would be very pivotal in that type of finals matchup. But looking at comparing these Celtics and this Heat team, I think they match up very well together. Both aren't very big down in the paint. Bam Adebayo is a 6'9" guy. Al Horford is a 6'9", 16 guy. Robert Williams is a very big. Both are really good defensive teams. But one thing that I just can't get over, the Celtics are just more talented in the wing, and that's not a shot against Jimmy Butler, but to me, expecting Jimmy Butler to score 30, 40 points, that's not his game. He's more of I'm going to give you 25, between 17 and 25, but I'm going to also, like you said, give you 8 rebounds. I'm going to give you 7 or 8 assists. He's more of a jack of all trades than a master of any one. And he's a great locker room guy, a great foundational piece to build a culture. That's where the strength you get from Jimmy Butler. But outside of him, they don't have anybody else that can consistently get a bucket. So I think what you're seeing right now is you're seeing a more talented team playing against a more tougher team. And we're going to see how that works out in the end. I know Jimmy Butler's a little banged up. I have to look at the score of the game and see how this thing plays out. But I mean, if Jimmy Butler can't give them I don't want to chop up the word, but fuck it, it's my show. I'm going to chop it up. A Herculean effort. If he can't give a Herculean effort every single game in and game out, they probably don't win. Bam Adebayo punched above his weight class and scored, was it 30 points?
He had to, though, bro. He had to, man. He played
that's just stepping up in the playoffs.
Game too. He had to, bro. Like and as I'm watching the game, you could see he knew it. His team knew it. The media knew it. The fans knew it. Spoelstra knew it. Somebody went to him and was like, bro.
So this is that's what scares me about this Heat team. And I love them because to me, they're throwing a monkey wrench in everything that the NBA wants to be today. We're not going to have field a whole bunch of stars. We're just going to play throwback, old school, blue collar basketball. We're going to put bodies on folk. We're going to shoot well. We're going to keep the score low. That's what I love about the Heat. But when we get to a point to where every game is, we need somebody to have a once in a lifetime performance, then that's where you get some inconsistency there. I can't count on Jimmy Butler giving me 30, 40 points every single game. That's unrealistic for his skill set. I can't count on Bam Adebayo giving me 20, 25. That's just not who he is. I think he's more of a 15 to 18 point guy. He'll grab boards and he'll play some defense, but he has his limitations. So in the end, the Celtics are just more talented of a team. Granted, Jason Tatum will have some times where he disappears. He goes to witness protection program and he'll score 10 points. But then the next game, he'll come out and he'll score 35 or 40. Yeah. And then we already know Jaylen Brown, he's going to give you 25, 30 himself. I just think they're too talented.
Play good defense.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Celtics are just too talented in the wing, and they match up too well. It'd be one thing if they were more of a finesse team and they weren't really a great defensive team, but they're a great defensive team that also was more talented in key positions. And I just don't like the matchup in that. So we'll see. Once again, we're going to see what happens. We'll see if they can rebound, or we'll see what the Celtics do this game.
What were your picks, Kenneth, before the series? I didn't get your picks before the series.
Oh, for the Celtics?
Did I text you? Did we text over this?
We didn't text over this.
Who'd you have in this? Straight up, who'd you have in this?
Oh, I had the Celtics. I had the Celtics in
what?
Six.
Okay. And what about the and would you have the Mavs and the Dubs in? Get the Mavs.
Admittedly, and look, I'll be that asshole on my own show. I had the Mavs in 6.
Ooh.
I did.
I had the Celtics.
And I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you why. And because Gold is
because Luka's a great player. Because Luka's a great player.
No, but look, I want to tell you why. All right. Because I watched this Golden State team barely beat a Nuggets team with no number 2 or number 3 option, and they were beating them by 3 points, 4 points. They were barely beating these guys, and they struggled mightily with Jokic and I hate using janitors and insurance salesmen, but the truth is they had Aaron Gordon. I mean, come on, man. So his second and third, so that was my reasoning. I felt like Golden State was still struggling defensively. They had some holes, but shit, they sold it up, man, and they looking like the Golden State of old. And Draymond Green has definitely been in his bag. Andrew Wiggins is in his bag. So, but
during the Nuggets series, Curry's on his minute restriction.
I thought the Mavs will get one of these, and I said, okay, the Mavs will get one of these. It's been 25 straight playoff series since Steph has been with the Golden State Warriors that they've won a road game, so they're not getting both. So, but I thought, I said, okay, they'll get one of these. So it's probably tonight. So I give him. That's why I went with him with the 3 last night. I took the over on the 214.5, and the Mavs had 81 points in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, they only had like 78, 79. I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh God. So my over definitely isn't cashing in. It finished up at a 209, so I was still 6 points off. But this Golden State team, man. Last night they did what championship teams do. They could have laid down, they could have dropped one and then stole game 5 and then wrapped it up in 6. But last night is when I really thought. Last night was the first time I thought that they're gonna win it. Even though I picked them, last night was the first time I looked and said, "Yeah, they're gonna win the championship."
And I agree because they're showing that resilience that we've seen from them. And the funny part is they're not the same team of years past, but they're finding a way to get it done. And you're seeing Steve Kerr really shine right now as a coach and some of the adjustments that he's making. And I love what they're doing with these young players. I love Jonathan Kuminga. I love Jordan Poole. And I love that they're giving these kids the green light to go out there and play. and you're seeing Steph and Clay kind of sit back like, hey, you guys got it. We just going, we go come off a couple of screens and catch and shoot, and then Draymond Green is just being a quintessential Draymond Green, putting bodies on fold, grabbing rebounds, and distributing it. So it's a great recipe for a championship, for winning, and I'm excited to see what it translates to. I've been a very, very big fan of this Celtics team so far in this playoffs, this year's playoffs, and I'm gonna continue to rock. We gonna see, because like I said, man, this Heat series, it's almost like whoever makes it out is gonna limp into the finals. It's really that bad. This is a physical conference finals. Whereas I think the Warriors are gonna cruise past the Mavericks, and they're gonna be fresh, and they're gonna go ahead and get them out of there early. They're gonna be in where's the championship this year?
It's Golden State's got home court, so
yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Golden State either team. Golden State's got home court. It's over the Celtics already, but they have the tiebreaker against the Heat. So Golden State's got home court. So whoever it goes through there, that's why they wrap it up tomorrow. They end this thing. They wrap this up tomorrow, because that's what championship, like a sweep. And the media will gush over it because we just saw what the Mavs just did to the Suns. But as I mentioned earlier in the show, you kind of should have saw that coming, because the Suns kind of was fluky last year. That's why I picked the Mavs to win that series, and when they did. Then when I saw them goes, I said, okay, this is 5. They're not. Yeah, they got past the Mavs, but this is 5. So yeah.
So
and I had the Heat in 7. So just so you know, I had the Heat in 7. So you picked the Celtics in 6.
I mean, that's what I picked.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
but I'm convinced it's going 7 now, because they're not just beating each other; they're like blowing. They're taking turns like blowing each other out, beating each other convincingly. So I'm convinced it's going to go 7.
Yeah,
just so you know, if you because I did these numbers all too the other night on another show. If you'd put money on it, it was Boston. The Boston 6 was a plus 265, so 100 would have got you 365 back. The total of 6 games for this series is a plus 180. So if it goes 6 games and it ends, you would have that was a plus 180. But the Heat on a 7 game, the Heat in 7 was a plus 390. That's why I went there. It was a plus 350 for the Warriors in 5, plus 450 for the Warriors in 6.
Interesting.
And that's been your playoff betting bets from Husky Bets.
Husky Bets, yeah.
Husky Bet. We need like a roll up song for that one. Like, rolling into Husky Bets, we need like some fire track right there. Speaking of bets, I gotta ask VJ something real fast.
Sure.
And if you Kenneth,
come on, spit it out. We got to get off Tiberius' show, man. We running up time. Come on, spit it out.
Yeah, but VJ with his Grubhub bets. VJ, has Brian got his food yet?
Nope, because he hasn't. It wouldn't. The way the Grubhub bets work is so fun, because I only use my bet when I'm hungry and I don't want to spend my money.
True.
That's when I'll call Kenneth, because Kenneth owes me too. That's when I'll hit him up and say, and I'm not, listen, I told you guys, it's just fun for me. I order a sandwich. I order some wings. I don't go stupid. We grown men. This is God code, man. We all got bills and stuff to pay. I don't go stupid. But when I want that Jersey Mike sandwich that I just don't want to pay $12 for,
yeah,
he's going to buy my sandwich. And while I'm eating it and drinking my ginger ale and my Lay's baked barbecue chips, I know my sports knowledge won me this sandwich.
Got you that, Bill.
I'm glad you're a barbecue chip guy.
Yeah, yeah, baked though. I just had my 40-year, my over 40 physical. Everything's cool. I'm not on no medication or anything. I do need to bring the cholesterol, and which I knew was probably gonna be a thing, because I have been eating kind of off since quarantine. But I'm back at the gym, back eating well, and all. So yes, baked. No, nothing. I'm not. My doctor did tell me I'm not allowed to have nothing fried. So no regular chips, no French fries, no cheese puffs,
God,
no
I love
cheese
French
doodles.
fries.
Me and my son, me and my son love cheese doodle. Y'all, you guys like cheese doodles?
I love anything cheese, dog.
Cheese doodle. Like Cheetos, but the kind of puffy round, kind of U-shaped.
The cheese balls.
I ate the Cheeto
Yeah.
puffs. I ate regular Cheeto puffs. I was eating those earlier.
Yeah.
Tearing them the hell up.
Tearing them up, licking the cheese off your feet. Yeah.
Oh,
no, she did. Dr. Singh did tell me no fried foods for like 60 to 90 days. She wants to see me off for fried foods. And no bake. No, she told me no more bacon at breakfast. No more bacon on my burgers.
Ooh, what? No bacon on the burgers?
I'm sorry, man. That
when you go for your over 40, you gonna find out, bro. keep eating bacon on them burgers. You'll find out.
I gotta have bacon and a fried egg with the drip.
Me too.
fried egg. Ooh,
Yeah, do you don't eat fried egg on your burger, bro?
Nah, man. Okay. This may be really white, but I go bacon, cheese, barbecue sauce. I like, I don't know if you guys have Carl's Jr., but this is like the first place that came to mind. The Western Burger. The Western Burger.
Okay.
That's
you
my
get onion
style.
rings on your burger?
Hell yeah, that's good.
That is white. Yeah, that is really white. That's really white.
I told you.
Yeah, that's really white.
Well,
it's not as bad as Brian. No, okay. Well, that guy's food tastes are actually some of the worst I've ever. Yeah.
Well, I'm an In-N-Out double animal style.
Yeah. Oh, I love In-N-Out too.
Go ahead and
you don't do 3x3. You just double. You don't do 3x3.
Here's the thing. I like to enjoy my burger, so what I do is I get the double animal style, and I get a cheeseburger on the side, animal style.
Ooh.
And then I get the fries, and then what I do is I get the spread on the side, put the spread into the little capsule.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, man. I go crazy, and I do it for like.
In-N-Out question I have to ask anybody: you eat it there, or you take it home?
I eat it there.
There you go. Okay. All right.
And anything else would be uncivilized.
Yep, exactly. People who take it home, I look at them, I'm like, bro, your fries are cold by the time you get to the first stoplight. Are you kidding me? I gotta eat. Even in drive-thru,
I've done both.
I'll pull it to an empty parking spot and eat my shit eat in the car. Yeah. Even if I go through drive-thru, I'll pull into an empty spot after I get my food and I eat in the car.
And I'm gonna tell you another restaurant, and they're actually building one next to my place. I don't know why the hell. I don't know whose bright idea was it to put a damn Chick-fil-A next to me. I'm like, what are you guys thinking? Do you guys want me to put you out of business?
Oh man, I love Chick-fil-A.
Spicy deluxe with Polynesian sauce.
Come on, spicy chicken deluxe.
Spicy deluxe with Polynesian sauce.
Okay, I got.
All right, look, everybody's hungry now. I know I haven't ate dinner.
Lemonade light ice.
Have you guys? What are your guys' thoughts? I know we got to get a
barbecue and Polynesian.
What do you guys think about Popeyes? Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Funny enough, I've never had it.
Black people been eating Popeyes since the 80s. It's old to me now, bro. I don't even go to Popeyes no more.
Hey, I will say this, Emmett, and maybe to it. Popeyes went Hollywood on us.
Yep.
We held them down and they left us behind. Yep. Because I remember when Popeyes was the shit. Yep. Right?
There, and also Long John Silver's did that to us too.
They went Hollywood.
Yeah, Long John Silver's
black folk held down Long John Silver's for about 25 years, and then they went and joined up with Taco Bell and Pizza Hut.
But I tell you who always gonna stay true and tested. Churches ain't never gonna leave black folks.
Ain't never gonna change. That ain't even chicken.
Look,
ain't never gonna change.
Look, I'm gonna tell you when I knew they was acting up. When they added okra to their menu, I said, "Oh yeah, they holding it down for the lower middle class." Look, my man, I know Evan looking like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Dude, we had a church. I live in such a white area. Our churches went out of business in 2 years.
Oh yeah. White.
I never got the chance to try it.
White. I don't think I've ever seen a white person at a church's fried chicken in my life. No,
sounds good. I mean, shoot,
no
churches.
Go to the hood. Them things live, man.
Yeah, but it's all Latino out here in LA. It's all Latinos and black people at them joints. I've never seen no white people there. Yeah.
Now there was a church. Churches. I was just in Inglewood. There was a churches right on Prairie. They went ahead. They got rid of that junk, but obviously it's because the stadium's right there. But
exactly. Yeah, they got rid of a lot because of the stadium. The stadium's beautiful, but Inglewood it's not the same anymore. It really isn't, man. It really is. And I get it, but at the end of the day, it's just like, damn, man, I used to like coming down here, bro, and going to the Forum and then leaving the Forum and going up the block. Yeah, going up the block and getting Astro Burger. You know what I mean? Like,
I used to live off Prairie and Buckthorn. I stayed with my dad, and when I tell you, just driving through Inglewood, I was there on Saturday. It's night and freaking day, man.
Yep.
And you could see people walking their freaking poodles and walking their dogs around the Forum at 8:00 at night. I said, "Oh yeah, this is different. This is a different world."
Look, bro, let me tell you something. 15, 20 years ago, You better have that thing on you if you out that late around that area. You know what I'm.
Hey, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you the biggest risk I ever took in my life. I'm gonna tell you this. I was a big time gamer. They had a game release. It was a GameStop right up. You keep going up Century. They had that little shopping center, GameStop, Starbucks, all that. I went to the midnight release of, I want to say it was Batman Arkham Asylum or Batman Arkham City. I went for the midnight release. I got that game, and I walked all the way from Prairie and Buckthorn all the way up there. It was the biggest risk I ever took in my life. When I got back, I felt like I was a stronger person. But I made it. I'm serious. You couldn't tell me anything. Dude, my ego was boosted. I'm like, yeah.
Tough. So I got a quick one for you. Toughest thing I think I've ever done is I dropped a girl off in the jungles one night from the club.
Good luck. You better man than I am.
And didn't know I was in the jungles until my roommate called my cell phone and said, "Yo, where you at?" I said, "I'm on my way back to the crib." He was like, "Where you at?" I said, "I dropped a little shorty. I met a shorty. She just got out the car." He goes, "Where you at?" And I looked and I told him what the street I was on. He goes, "Hold up, you where?" And I told him. He was like, "The hell you do?" I was like, "This is where she live. Where am I?" He said, "Bro, you better get out the jungles." I said, "Oh, bro." I turned and I had my homeboy's car. It wasn't even my car, bro. I turned that car around. It was like 2:33 in the morning. Some people out, but he had 10 on his car, so I don't think they knew. They didn't really. I was there for 45 seconds, but when I pulled out of there,
you realized
I felt like,
I just dropped.
Y'all better not say nothing to me.
Hey, look, hey, Emmett, this is a crash course. Look up the jungles. I want you to Google it, and you can be like, "Dang, he dropped a girl off there."
Okay,
it's pretty bad. I'm serious. Look it up. But look, guys, we could go all freaking. Me and this guy VJ could go all freaking night. Emmett, it's been nice having you. I mean, to tell you the truth, I love working with people for the first time. It doesn't feel like this is our first time working together. I feel
man, we had that bond, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for hitting me up, and appreciate VJ for coming on and chalking it up with us. And hey, man, if you ever need me, or your co-host ever needs me, I'm glad to do it, and I will for sure have to get you on my show, Kenneth. I feel like it was a really fun show, and we kind of got a little off topic, and hey, off topic radio. Exactly. Exactly.
We really didn't know, guys. Everything we talked about was still on topic to what we were talking about. We didn't. But
we dug deep. Wrong words. We dug deep.
Look, Andre enjoyed it.
Right? Andre, thanks for the support.
I see Mr. Pinson over there.
Yeah.
All right, Andre. Hey, thanks for having me, man. I smell my son right now, and y'all know what that means.
Yep. Good luck.
I smell my son right now. So listen, Kenneth, I love you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
You
Emmett, love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
And we'll wrap, guys. Enjoy the rest of the sports this weekend. Also, too, Kenneth, look for the invite. You back in my fantasy football league again this year, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna win it this year.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, we're gonna run this league. We're gonna, The belt is up. Hold on, wait a minute. There it is. Yeah, the belt. It's up on the wall. Anybody? Because I did win the league, like I said I was going to. Kenneth, what'd you finish? Like 8-6, right? You had a good year.
I had a good year, and I lost a lot of close ones. Hey, but really quick, I want you guys to plug your shows really quick before you get off. Let's go ahead and remind them of the greatness that's on the show.
VJ's on Sportsmanlike Conduct, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, also Vesson Sports, Husky ENT, HUSKEYENT on Twitter, and Vesson Sports on YouTube.
All right. My show is called Blindside Sports, and hear that on most audio platforms and YouTube. Just search up Blindside Sports. Also, my Twitter is EmmettNosey04, and I have a show Instagram and TikTok. The show Instagram is at Blindside Sports 00, and the TikTok's Blindside Sports 7. If you want to go follow me personally, Emmett Nosey. That's where I post like stuff about my personal life. It's public, so it's open to y'all. So Kenneth, thanks for having me on, man. I really had a fun time working with you tonight, man.
No, I enjoyed you guys too. And if you ever need me, just put the bat signal up in the sky, and I'll be there.
You got it.
Real too. You look. I see you, bro. I see you still hitting the gym, man. Looking good, bro. Keep it up, man.
Oh, come on.
I can see it in the shoulders and the shoulders and the triceps.
I appreciate it. I gotta be Bexy. I gotta be Bexy, man. I'm a young bachelor out here.
I know. Hey, listen, you and I talk personally. I know what you got going on, bro. It's really like real talk. It's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you're young. You're supposed to be strong, right?
You're supposed to be like real talk. You're supposed to be in shape, bro. You're supposed to be in shape, homie. So do your thing. Love you guys, man. Peace.
Love you guys too.
Peace, man.
Have a good one.